Welcome back, everybody. Hello, once more. We return to the Saturday Ironheart Merchant Company, Session 4. As per last time, the party where we left off had managed to uncover a potential affair between a large and powerful female Landerkin and a small green dragon wormling. Though the wormling looked to have been killed, the party had managed, after confirming the eggs where the results of the two breeding, what the fuck? Though the wormling looked to have been I really need to stop writing these when I'm drinking. Anyways, where was I? Deciding it was better to not take on one of the eggs, or take one of the eggs in the rare case that the other dragons would come looking, the party's suspicions would soon be answered, almost immediately, in fact, as the wormling's clan would be easily spotted overhead. Deciding it would be better to go elsewhere, the party managed to steal an egg from another group of Landerkin before returning to the Dragon's Crown, only to find upon their way the abandoned town had been used as a Drak breeding ground. As the party took a few eggs, they decided to cut their chances of death and return with the newly acquired loot. Upon arriving and getting paid, the party would meet a mysterious fellow who never gave his name but seemed to be quite quite skilled. After the mysterious man would assist the party, convincing Arolaman he was one of his own people, the party would then decide to finally take the letter of Hago to Thrid in Hrimpurser's last hold. And after realizing at the time it would take to travel on foot, the party, man, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to read this word for word here because I don't remember most of it, but fucking hell. The party decided instead to try their hands at the black market, where a potential lead on a skyship captain could be found. Here they would meet the great and very immaculate Loroth. And together the party would set out to the Frost Giant stronghold, bringing us to our current situation as the party finds themselves traveling roughly about 15 days at this point, seeing the ground below them starting to glow as the campfires can be seen all throughout the mini forest beneath. The night sky pretty relatively clear with a very bright moon that you can see overhead. Everything looks to be quite calm on the skies so far. These 15 days have pretty much gone unbothered. We come back to you lot with 15 days. What would you like to use your downtime for?
I suppose I can go first.
Sure.
I'm going to be spending a lot of time with BK, trying to understand him better to train animal affinity.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have you roll an handle animal. Say animal handling, like that's still a thing.
Alright, handle animal. That's an 18.
Yeah, as you spend your time with BK studying and learning the creature, let's find out how how much depth is in this one. One sec. Okay. As you begin kind of spending your first 15 days hanging out with BK, watching him, taking care of the poor donkey or poor mule, you start to pick up a few things pretty quickly. Not only that BK being as a quite finer specimen of mule, with both the size of his muscles naturally and being a little bit larger overall than most of mules his size, he seems to be quite intelligent for a mule. Even though the few you've met and seen in passing, Essa, don't seem to lack a lot of the personality that BK has developed with the travels that this party has seen. As you kind of start to spend your time with him, though, you start to get a better understanding of the creature, slowly getting a grasp on the feat. Go ahead and add that to your character sheet.
Okay.
Going down. James, with your first 15 days, what were you hoping to do?
I'm hoping to train a negotiator, honestly.
Okay. How would you like to do so?
Well, given how its description is, I'm going to be trying to gauge and sway attitudes, try to keep everybody a bit more chipper and upbeat while we travel.
Okay.
On this month-long journey. And working to understand the giants more, I guess.
Give me a diplomacy or a sense motive.
Alright.
for some of the giants here.
Get a character sheet because the little sheet there doesn't show me shit. Sense motive. Fucking 9. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, as you spend your time chatting with the giants, trying to get to know them, you start to find many of them give you a cold shoulder, only really being able to get a conversation going up with Lorof, the ship's captain, as well as his first mate and younger brother Bjorn. Both seem to be somewhat chatty with you, but not being able to get a real read on them, not having much experience with sailors and sky merchants in general. Nothing seems to really come of it at the time.
Well, I guess I'll keep trying.
No worries. Rollerman, how about yourself?
Alright, so from my past, it's known that I once was a mercenary among hill giants, so I got to know them pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And now seeing and traveling with these frost giants, I wanted to get to know them a bit better. So I'd like to practice spar if they are willing. Spar with them. And, we trying to train the dodge feat.
Okay.
We do so.
Yeah, a couple of the giants seem to be pretty open immediately to the concept of fighting in their free time. Go ahead and let's say for this... Oh, give me a second to pull up my skills list here. Let's go... Let's do a general dexterity go for this.
General dexterity?
Yep, dexterities.
Okay. Give me a second.
No worries.
All right. I have a +4. So reflex save is what you said, or general dexterity?
No, it's just a dexterity.
Okay.
Hmm?
Makes it easy. Hey, that's pretty good.
All right. With 19, you start to, as you're practicing in the free time, going below deck and finding the group of sailors, as they're drinking and eating on their off time, a couple of them start putting together a little rope circle down below to push and fight and move, and just test their strength against one another. Kind of going down and offering to join up with them, they seem to open you with warm arms, and as you kind of start to jump in, working with one of the larger of the frost giants, who, though slow, seems to have an incredible reach for the small ring that you're in. You manage to continue ducking and dodging, not really trying to beat him, seeing that your strength would be hard-pressed against a man of this size, but managing to easily outpace him and tire him out to the point where he finally just kind of surrenders and steps out of the ring, as seeming almost completely exhausted from it. With a good warmed-up sweat, you spend the rest of a couple of days doing this, as many of the crew try to challenge you, gaining you the nickname Lightning Foot amongst the frost giants.
Okay.
Go ahead and add that feat to your character sheet. As you lot have spent your first 15 days resting, practicing, and training, each kind of splitting up from each other, only truly meeting at meals and kind of making sure to help out where you can while on the ship at the same time as enjoying the flight. Night has come on the 15th day, and as you all are kind of gathered up at the top of the ship, looking over the edge, seeing the beautiful fire or the campfires going down, almost making the land below sparkle as you're getting ready to pass over the major ocean in between Krikek and its the southern continent of Selmica. You are beginning to enjoy the lights, the smell of smoking meats, as the cook seems to be bringing out food, as many of the men seem to have, or much of the crew have come up aboard, up on top board, and seem to be watching the people as they pass by, pointing out the what seems to be strange lights coming from a stronghold not far from you lot, to the south. As they point over to it, looking at your map roughly, you all kind of realize it's roughly looks like it might be Gold's Ruin, as the mountain kind of slightly peaks through the few clouds that seem to almost crown only around it. You see what looks to be bright lights exploding into the sky every few seconds, followed by minor sounds of explosions being heard. And slight cheering, singing can be kind of almost caught on the wind as you guys get closer and closer. Loroff continues to basically stay at the helm and has the ship going without any ease, seeming to smile as the cook comes out bringing out drinks and handing out ales. You all find yourselves kind of sitting up here, enjoying the view. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're up here?
Roman looks over the edge and is a bit queasy as he's not the best over water.
Yeah, Roman, you start looking down, seeing the vast ocean coming up, and seeing the massive waves of water, even in the darkness, kind of it starts to cause your stomach to roll slightly as you look over. Give me a spot check. See if you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sport.
What are we rolling again? My brain.
Roman's rolling a spot check for as he's looking over the edge of the ship. Damn. So focused on like trying to hold down the food in your belly and the ale that you just downed. You're holding your mouth shut, eyes closed, trying everything not to puke as the other two are sitting beside you.
Stop looking at the water.
Yeah. Yeah, after a few moments, the water kind of like closing your eyes, just hearing it starts just kind of give you the enough of a mindset. James, what about you? While Roman is slightly vomiting, or trying not to vomit over the side of the ship.
I'll just pat his back and see what he's trying to look down there and see if I can spot anything interesting going on.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a spot check.
Fuck it, 7. Wow, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no more.
As you look over now, patting him on, like rubbing Roman's back, kind of like lightly tapping it, looking over, trying to see what he's like. You see that Roman's just really holding his mouth, his eyes closed, and it looks like he's trying just not to vomit. You kind of take into it. There's not really anything to look at, and you just kind of lean back, not really focusing on.
I'm gonna move Roman like a step back from the railing.
Okay.
No, buddy. No. Well, if you really gotta puke, go over there. But let's get you away from it so you're not getting sky sick.
Well, it's just it brings back memories of traveling over the water, and those are not pleasant.
That's fair.
Is it my turn to enjoy the sights and try and see something?
Do you want to try and take a look?
May as well.
Maybe the ranger can see something.
Yeah, feel free. Let's see what you spot.
Spot check. Let's see. Spot check. Okay, so +6.
Man.
The party cannot be.
I'm just gonna, I don't need these anymore. I'm gonna just let you guys roll till you get yourselves killed. I don't need my dice tonight. All right. So now, as in actuality, as you look over, I did actually put my dice away because I realized I was supposed to be using the D&D roller or dice roller on Discord. Anyways. As you start watching, or kind of look over, seeing the interest from these two, and seeing that both Roman and James seem to be looking over at something, you kind of try to lean over, and similar to James, it kind of catches your eyes that Roman is just trying not to vomit, in truth, and that's really what he was trying not to do, as James seemed to almost misinterpret looking over the edge as well. As he pulls kind of Roman back from the edge and kind of keeping him from falling over or outright puking off the side of the ship. But you see nothing but the campfires, hear loud explosions, and see the colorful booms coming from Gold Ruin.
Boring. I was going back to BK.
As you go back down below deck...
Yeah, give him an apple for me.
Yeah, as you head down to the bottom of the deck, the third floor where a lot of the storage is set up, BK is set up in one of the stalls next to a couple of what look to be kind of larger looking oxen that seem to have like little like whirling tails that kind of spin as you come down. But as you kind of walk in, BK neighs at you, to get your attention.
I mean, yeah. I'm walking over to him anyway.
Okay. As you begin to spend your time with him, we will come back to you in a moment, Essa. Rollman and James, as you're kind of beginning to still up on top of the deck, enjoying the sounds, the sights. The crew seems to be happily drinking, having a good time. When all of a sudden you hear the helmsman, who you, as you look over, as they start to shout, you recognize as Loruf go, "We got an incoming raid!" As he suddenly pulls the ship hard to the right, and the entire crew slightly starts to lean to the side. James, Rollman, and Essa, give me a reflex save.
Well, at least mine's not as bad than below deck.
Correct.
Worst case, I get thrown around
That's
a bit.
12.
12. Okay. Ouch.
12.
And Essa.
Good thing you rolled low.
I have rolled 2 twos in a row.
Essa, you not expecting this, and as you staying with BK, really getting into enjoying it, petting him, taking care of him, and kind of curious about the other creatures nearby, and looking over in their general direction, having not seen oxen like this before. As the sudden jerk happens, you're not even hearing what's going on above. You just feel the entire ship slam and turn hard as suddenly BK kind of lands into you, shoving you up against the wall, kind of hawing as all the other creatures start to make a ton of noise, as you kind of slightly find yourself pinned. But as you notice the slight window out the side, you spot a couple of swirling looking winds, like small cyclones coming towards the ship. James and Rollman, as you at the top start to find yourselves falling back and forth as the ship turns hard to the left and then to the right once more. It slams again once more onto the right as you start to lose your footing. Much of the crew along with you as they start to panic and start to crawl to battle stations, grabbing cannons and seeming to get ready to light things up as they are looking for whatever the captain is pointing towards, as if they're looking above them for a ship.
Can I give a search check to try and find it?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, James.
Awesome. I'm gonna try using this since the dice roller on some roll builder screwing me over.
While he does that, I'll rush over to where Essa went and I'll shout down, "Essa, get up here.
21.
There's trouble."
Yeah, you run to the doorway shouting down. James, searching the skies, you see nothing above you at all. There's nothing in the skies around you or above you. As you look all around you, not looking to where Lorof is seeming to glare, there seems to be nothing. Turning as Rollman suddenly shouts down to this. Essa, you hear as Rollman shouts down for you. What are you trying to do?
I mean, Essa's pinned, so she's gonna kind of call back, "I'll get right on that," as she's kind of heaving and trying to get out from under BK.
All right.
The sounds of hawing.
A-okay, so.
Yeah, you hear heen and hawing of BK and a couple of other creatures whining and growling and making noise.
Now, I'll go ahead and
With that search check, I would have also looked over the edge of the ship, I'm guessing.
Yes, that is correct.
and in case it might be beneficial, I'll enter a hunter's stance, so I have the scent ability.
Okay. All right. All right, as you both of you stand at the top, watching, waiting, the crew catching up onto their feet. Essa, I assume are gonna shove BK off and then run upstairs, or did you have a plan in mind while you're down there?
Well, I feel like shove's not right. I feel like it's more like wheedling out from under him because she's more agile than she is strong.
Fair. Yeah, as you pull yourself out, kind of digging yourself out from underneath BK, he seems to finally stand up and get his footing underneath you, allowing you to kind of get away. Seeing the other creatures not faring nearly as well as BK, many of them still toppled over, some even rolled over onto their backs.
A great day of boxing tipping.
And then Essa's gonna sprint upstairs, and once she's up on the top deck with the other, she'll draw her bow.
Okay. As you come rushing up, James and Roman, you hear as the door slams open, seeing Essa come out, and as Lorof looks out, he still seems to be trying to get the ship to turn completely, doing a 180 back towards Dragon's Crown, as if he's trying to move the ship, and it's not seeming to respond, as you all notice. Sting almost continuing to steer to the right, heading more and more towards what looks to be in the distance, the fortress of Carmen. As you lot stand there for a moment, let's go ahead and roll initiative real quick.
Initiative.
I'm going to roll for the others. Alright. Oh, that's not good.
Okay, I'm gonna be sticking with this for now. I got a 20.
Okay. So we got James at 20. Rollman at 10. Ouch, okay.
I rolled a low number.
Alright, and then Essa, what's yours?
They have not rolled yet.
Yep.
They might have stepped away.
Okay, I did.
No worries.
Is it just initiative?
Yep, just initiative. Okay, 14. Yep, no worries. Do you need a second?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
I want to make sure. Oh, nope, ignore that. I gotta fix that. That was not an intentional enter. That was a...
I
Thankfully.
believe I go ahead of the crew because my dex is higher.
Huh?
I believe I go ahead of the crew because my dex.
You don't know all the dex modifiers of the crew.
You have a +2.
That's not all. That's not for every single member of the crew.
That's fair, but I have a 16 in dex, so that matters.
You know what? I'll tell you what.
And I have
I'm gonna
improved initiative.
look.
Roland really try.
I'm gonna look it up real quick, and if I find out they do have a higher dex, what's your dex? You said 16.
16.
Okay. They do not. Then there you go.
Frost Giant Dex is not their main stats. I think it's one of their worst stats.
And now let me just roll.
They are built for strength and con.
It wouldn't do if the lightning foot would be after the crew did. Okay.
I feel it'd be funny though.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, and then let me roll for the creature real quick. I'll just save that while I do that. Oops, if I cannot today, plus, there we go. Okay, well, that's not all of it. Don't worry, I'm not done.
What other things is going before all this?
You'll see. Well, I gotta roll for something else here. Okay. That's unfortunate for the party. Okay, there we go. As you lot begin to look about readying your item or readying your weapons, you see as over the sides of the ship suddenly it appears as if some sort of cyclone starts kind of crawling and grabbing onto the side of the ship, tearing into it. I'll answer that after a minute, after the session, sorry. Yeah, as you see, as this creature starts grabbing onto the side of the ship, pulling itself on, you see a cyclone of wind, a strange, like, glimmer of as this creature kind of pulls itself on, more and more of them grabbing onto the ship as you feel the slamming. The first one coming over onto the deck, you see an air elemental as the creature seems to almost look identical to a frost giant, kind of standing now on the deck, glaring at you a lot, ready to fight. And it's going to grab one of the crew members first.
I'm right beside Roland, right?
Yes, you guys are kind of in the center of the ship. This creature is on the right side of the ship, coming up like around the middle of it.
By center, do you mean above,
roughly
like,
where that
stairs,
middle?
or
You see where that middle grate is?
middle grade? Okay.
Yeah, like roughly on the right side of that. Yeah, side of that ship. As it's going to try and grab one of the crew members that you see is the cook.
Not the cook, no.
And it's going to try to grapple him over. And he is going to try and resist now. Which, if I remember right, yep, okay. Okay, let me pull it up because it's been a little while to pull up the exact flippin' thing for this. It's been so long.
Do I pass on healing or do I pass on? Do I pass on healing hit or do I
There we go.
pass on immediate bonus to our strongest melee?
He's going to get attack of opportunity, which means he is just going to take a swing and see if he can hit with his frying pan, and that does, and
Yeah.
The man has a frying pan.
But does it do damage? That's the important thing.
It does 2 points of damage to your elemental. Seems
Nice.
fully unfazed as you watch as the thing kind of slams through it. And the creature, as it takes the hit,
It cannot
grapple
objects.
fails. And the creature kind of backs off for a moment. As it has used its movement and its climb up as it ends its turn. The second group seems to come up on the opposite side, on the left of it, at that middle point. Another creature coming up. This time, this one pulling itself up, looking similar to a storm giant, although the same size as the first, standing only a few feet taller than most of the frost giants here. These creatures look to be trying to mimic the designs of others as you kind of stare out at it. It is also going to try and grapple, and it is actually going to go for James, seeing his armor. So James, it's going to... Oh, okay. First you get an attack of opportunity, so go ahead and basically see if you can hit it.
Okay, let me get back up to my. Let me get to my weapons because I was looking for my spells because I have an idea of what I could do.
Understandable.
Hell, Morningstar is my best fucking thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So.
See what you got. A 5 does not hit as the creature manages to... Not having fought one of these before, you swing wide, and the creature seems to easily dodge out of the way. It is going to try... And now make a grapple on you. So this is a touch attack, just for reference, so it's against your touch AC.
Okay, that's 12. I'm a spry little guy.
As the two of you manage to dodge each other easily back and forth, the creature, looking almost infuriated with you, lets you go, ending its turn. As it does so, we go on to James. Your turn. You're up.
Retaliation.
Great. I only get one attack a turn.
Got one standing in front of you, and another one that I would say is about roughly 15 feet behind you. So, we're off to the right of you.
You know, I don't want to burn my only healing before we actually need it, so... And I'm still right by my good pal, but that takes a standard action to cast this. Okay, well, we're all on our own. This is gonna be fucking terrible.
Okay. Is that your action? Okay.
No, I'm going to smack at it again.
All right, let's see what you can do. See if you can actually hit it.
I don't think that's a hit.
No, that's a nat 1. You want to roll to confirm that, please? I don't think you'll get that unlucky, but yeah, there, okay. Yeah. As you go to swing, managing to easily miss the creature, you slam into the boat slightly. As you hear Loroth go, "Don't damage my fucking property!" As he seems to be busy fighting another creature, holding it off by himself. Okay. As you haven't moved, you could still take another attack, James, if you want.
Oh, are we doing that?
Yeah, we are running that.
Oh.
I've always ran that.
Okay.
Because it doesn't change anything even in 3.5. It's basically the same thing. There's no class specific that gives you that. So, we should be good.
I mean, especially because there's no action surge.
18!
18. As you swing again on the creature, managing to slam into it, you finally feel it connect. Go ahead and roll damage.
I roll a d8, and I get a +1 to that.
And is this... What kind of damage is this? Remind me?
This is, bludgeoning.
Okay. 7. All right. As you slam into the creature, you feel it smack hard into the back of it or into the side of it. Feeling something actually hit, and all of you hear the slight ringing off of the Morning Star, because I assume it's your Morning Star, correct? You're slamming
it's
with.
my morning star.
Yeah.
It's my highest damage weapon.
Hearing a slight, like almost like a tink on something metallic or somewhat hollow, you all hear the sound, the reverberation as James makes contact with the elemental. It seems to almost visually, like the creature, although it looks its body looks unfazed, seems to visually back away from James for a moment, even though it doesn't take a step back.
Can
yeah.
I figure out what would I roll to figure out what that is? Knowledge Arcana?
You could do knowledge arcana, knowledge nature. I'd also take either of those would work. Survival would also be something you could roll.
Survival.
All 3 will give you different answers, though, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I was looking at my higher bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Knowledge Arcana.
Okay.
22.
There hasn't been much. You remember reading a book a few books, in fact, in your younger days, that there hasn't been much research done on elementals at all in this era. Many people seem to find them to be too volatile of creatures, though wizards do tend to try and trap many of them, causing most elementals not to trust and to be extremely wary of others. It is not known how most of these creatures manage to keep a physical form. The assumed belief is that they are just an amalgamation of raw magic, kind of that have come together through elemental forces. Others state that they come from a plane of its own existence, and others still say they're the leftovers of a god. What no one mentions is the fact that these creatures have something in the that would make them give a sound like that when hit.
Out. These aren't normal fucking elementals, at least by the theories.
You hear Loroth respond, "No shit, they're fucking raiding!" As he points to the really high up into the sky, and as all 3 of you look, you see in the far distance a group of 3 skyships coming your way. About, you'd say, a good 200-300 miles away at this point. I mean, they're visible because of the clear skies. You can see them as dots on the distance, but they seem to be coming at you guys quite fast as he points that out. As you shout this, though, James, finishing your turn, Loroth is going to go up. He is going to swing on the elemental. Let's see. What does he...
Look,
yes?
that means I'm basically sure that that they have a core, so something's there to hit.
Yep. He is going to take out his great axe and try and slam into it. And as he goes and slams into the air elemental that he is fighting, smacking it hard, he manages to knock it over to the side with his great axe, hitting something as well. Let's roll the damage. Killing the thing almost instantaneously as you watch as the thing dissipates. And something, again, that sound is almost heard immediately as something can be heard from above just moments later as the hefty object seems to slam into the deck, causing the entire deck to slightly stutter or shake a little bit. Not causing enough of a reflex save, but many of you feeling the slight tremor under your feet.
What weapon?
Loroth is using a great axe. Yeah. As he
Flashing does work. Good to know.
As he finishes his turn, he kind of looks back at you lot, giving a thumbs up as he wraps up. Essa, you are up. You standing off to the side with James and Rollman, assumedly. You've got. I assume at this point, actually, rather just having come up the stairs. Let's go with off to your right, about 10 feet to the right, and a little bit, about 5 more feet forward towards the front of the ship. You see one aerial elemental completely undisturbed, fighting with the chef, and then on the opposite side of it, on the left side, same area, you see, or like left side, same direction, basically. So 10 feet, and then another 10 feet over to the north on the of the stairs. You see, as James seems to be fighting off with this giant, looking air elemental, it seems to be looking like a storm giant taking this phase and looking to almost kind of step away slightly from James as he swung at it. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take a shot at the one fighting James.
All right. See what you got.
5 to hit.
Whew.
There we go.
There's the good rolls, gentlemen, we needed. Yeah, that hits by a long shot. Go ahead.
I'd be adding my strength to my rolls, wouldn't I?
So,
Yes, your base attack bonus is your strength. You should add your strength on top. Oh, no, it's auto-added. Never mind, you don't have to. It should already be added in there if you're looking at your sheet.
No, it doesn't add that
No,
to
no,
plus
it
the hits.
doesn't
You have to do it all
auto-add that.
manually.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. So
Gotta
I
do
was.
Pro.
Yeah, as you shoot an arrow into the creature, seeing where James had hit, and as James kind of pointed this out, watching for the little gleam of whatever James hit, you take a second aiming, and as you see just the right moment, as the gem kind of or some sort of like flash of a gemstone kind of pops out to the side, you take a shot, hitting it perfectly at center, as the creature seems to kind of pull back completely, almost like as if it's been struck personally, like physically had its body struck, and seems to like start to look like as if it's bleeding from the mouth, depicting rain kind of coming out of the storm giant's mouth to signify it. The creature looks over at you, glaring.
I'm going
up
to.
at it. Oh, big boy, you're fighting me.
I'm gonna knock a second arrow.
All right, let's see what you got. Let's see if you can take another shot.
Nah, I got one hit.
Yeah, as you getting excited and feeling the rush of it, you hurriedly launch, getting another arrow ready, and as you see the creature's looking like it's down its last leg, you rushing the shot to get it. As James kind of starts to speak up, it kind of catching you off guard, hearing that it slightly jostles you as the arrow goes flying off to the side, causing the creature to almost kind of mimic or mime a laughing motion towards you, as it seems to point to you, ignoring James completely, even though he's still standing in front of James.
Motherfucker, I might be short, but I'm gonna take your knees.
He doesn't have knees.
I'm taking his equivalent.
As the two of you yell, like shouting this out over the wind, Rolaman, you're up. Oh, well, actually, hold on. Essa, is there anything else you want to do? Or are you good?
I'll move back like 5 feet.
You're gonna move back 5 feet? Okay.
You can take a 5-foot step when you take it.
Oh,
You can take a
yes,
5
that's right. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hold up. Okay.
No,
Alright.
That's why it was only 5 feet.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Yeah, so as you back 5 feet away from the staircase now, not being like right on it, you find yourself kind of pushed up a little bit backwards against the rail, or the little captain's doors into his quarters. Rolaman, seeing all of this, you readying your sword, what would you like to do?
Look around, seeing how these air elementals are trying to grab people. I shout out to the crew, get away from the ledges. They're going to try and pull you off of the edge. Would you say as a free action, or would you say that
a few of the crew seem to notice you, and their eyes like seem to go wide with fear, as many of them seem to start looking towards the stairs. Of course, not moving as it's not their turn.
All right. I don't recall. Can you take a 5-foot step before you attack, or does that be after you attack?
Let me see. It's been a bit. I don't have. I have all the special attacks. I don't have any of the fucking normal stuff. Give me a minute.
Yeah, either before, during, or after the action.
Okay, perfect.
First thing I'll do is designate this one air elemental that we're fighting as part of the dodge feat, so I have a +1 AC against them.
Okay.
And then could I take a 5-foot step to flank them with James?
Yeah, I'd say about 5 feet. Seeing as you'd be like standing right behind James at the time, yeah, 5 feet to the side of him, you'd be somewhat flanking him. Yeah.
All right, I will attack.
All right, let's see what you got.
+7. 12.
As you go to slash into the creature, it seems to almost easily. Wait, what flanking is plus? Wait, hold up.
Oh, I already added the plus.
Okay, you did. I was like, wait. Okay, yeah. So as you go to swing at the creature, it seems to easily move out of your way, dodging, just managing to watch as the blade goes through its stomach, not hitting anything. You kind of look up a little slightly confused, as you know you hit the body, but nothing seems to have caused any damage to the creature.
All right. I will attempt again.
All right, go ahead.
I didn't move.
Let's see what you got.
19.
19. Yeah, as you slash into it this time, managing kind of rewinding up and watching, looking for the similar glint that you saw that Essa was aiming at. Finally, kind of locating it, you swing your sword with a quick slash, smacking into the creature. Go ahead and roll damage. 12. You hear suddenly, or rather feel, as something splits through as your sword cuts through it, and just as soon as you feel the connection of the thing kind of the item give way, your sword's kind of hitting the side of the ship. You see as the wind seems to almost dissipate, and a small green gem falls to the ground, completely shattered, just laying there. The other air elemental kind of looks over in your general direction, looking almost like you can't really catch the emotion on the thing's face. It doesn't seem to mirror it, but a general attention towards you, Rollman, seems to have been drawn.
I'll give a nice
good
laugh
job.
and motion for them to come at me.
Okay.
And I will switch my dodge feet to them.
Okay. All right. And that ends your turn, correct?
Yeah.
All right. The crew is going to turn and run, including the cook, who's going to try and fucking not get knocked down. But the creature is going to get an attack of opportunity on him. And as it slams, tries to slam its fist into him. The cook jumps out of the way with almost a nimbleness that you did not expect from a frost giant this wide. And the rest of this crew starts scurrying their way down below deck. You can hear them kind of whispering and talking at the bottom of the stairs as it sounds like a little bit of a kerfuffle goes down, and the sounds of moving wood and smacking metal can be heard at the bottom of the stairs. As they end their turn. As they do, another elemental is going to crawl over the edge, climbing up and grabbing onto the side, right on your side, James and Rolleman. As it pulls itself over, this one looking like a scarred fire giant, and it pulls itself up, having slightly, and where the others seem to almost be like a slight whitish wind that you every once in a while can catch a really easy glimpse of due to just the rapidness of the wind kind of cycling about and the thickness of the frost around it. This one seems to have a red coloring to it as it pulls itself over, grabbing onto the side of the ship. You watch as the parts it grabs seem to slightly burn, as it leaves its handprints behind, pulling itself onto the ship. And it is going to take a swing at Rolleman.
Oi, fuckface.
Well, just watch what Rolleman did. So, you know, this isn't a personal, like, your short thing. This is, hey, this guy just killed another creature near me. And that is a 20 to hit.
That hits.
All right. It is going to roll its damage. As it slams its hand, fist into you, you feel the wind kind of slightly burning you. You take 2 points of fire damage as it smacks you in the face. Feeling your eyebrows singe, your nose hairs burning, a little bit of your hair's on fire, Rolleman, but otherwise you seem to be all right, I assume.
Yep.
All right. It moved and it used its action, so it's going to end its turn. The second one, who was fighting the chef, that looks like the frost giant, upset now, seeing that the cook got away. You see it turns towards you lot, kind of looks at Essa for a minute, and turns to run towards Essa as fast as it can. It's going to move right up onto you, Essa, and take a swing.
I say in giant coward because I goaded him and he didn't come at me.
Roll an intimidation check to see if what'll happen.
Oh, well,
Ah!
I have a +2, so.
Okay. Wait, did you roll? I didn't see.
Wait, I saw the 2.
Oh no, that wasn't you.
Well.
No. Yeah, with a 9, the creature seems to easily ignoring you, kind of continuing to push forward after Essa. Seeing the damage Essa did, or catching the creature, or the interest of the creature, it seems to charge over, ignoring, and raising its fist, is going to try and hit Essa. Essa does a 12 hit?
My AC is 13.
As it is kind of turning and seeing this, the adrenaline rushing, and you easily manage to dodge out of the way of the fist of the creature. As it predictively sinks a swing at you, being as large as it is, it's still pretty clumsy. As you manage to move, seeing the slight glimmer of another gem floating inside of the creature as it cycles about at a rapid speed. That is its movement, because it would have moved 10 feet to get to you, so that ends its turn. Back at the top, Laura. Oh no, James, you are up. You've got this red one
I'm not
right in
happy
front of you.
with- There's one right in front of me, and then there's the one that went after my ally there.
Mm-hmm.
One that-
Let's
the
let's
archer.
one right in front of me first and give it a good whacking.
Okay. Let's see if you can hit it.
Plus 3.
Yeah, as you getting angry at this being ignored, feeling like you're being insulted for your height, you grabbing this morning star with rage in your eyes, you swing violently at the creature and watch as you eat. Normally, if it was a solid creature, that would have been a perfect hit to the groin. But as you slam into it, the creature seems unfazed as it doesn't even pay attention to you, and kind of the anger boiling over. Yeah. You still feeling ignored by this creature. You haven't moved. Do you want to try a swing again, or would you like to do something else?
You know what? Essa, do you think you... I can't ask that. Fuck.
You can. Talking is... I will give a talking as a free action if you have a
Essa,
question.
You think you got that one?
Unsure. I'll tell you as I fight it.
As a dodging fist left and right.
Going for another hit.
All right. Rolleman's watching this, so you gotta impress your employee. Seeing now,
partner.
yeah, seeing Rolleman there, seeing Essa is comfortable, you get a little more confident with it, and kind of now watching for what, as Rolleman's eyes seem to be tracking something, kind of noticing this, you start watching for that glittering object again. As you finally think you got the pattern down, you go to swing, and as you do, the thing seems almost unnaturally dodge to the left, out of your reach, moving away from you, as you take a swing of the creature unharmed.
Oh, shit. I'll use that last one to take an immediate 5 foot, if possible, to get opposite of
So you're just kind of like, are you just trying to get around, like behind it, basically, as it faces
Yeah.
Rolleman? Okay. Yeah, as you
so
kind
that
of
it has
circle
to
around.
split so that if it's trying to focus on us both, it's going to split its...
Otherwise,
attention.
when it's flanking.
Yeah, you're just better. You're just basically flanking better now. Yeah. Yeah. As you.
Bonus either.
That is. You should have.
I don't know what it is. That's why I was like, fuck.
It's a plus 2.
It's plus 2.
Which would make it so you did not hit still, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. So. Okay.
You're one short still. Yeah, so as you try kind of realizing that, thinking fast for a moment, thinking that standing right beside Rolleman, just slightly angled to him, not being enough, you kind of start to circle around him slowly as the creature seems to only focus on Rolleman, grinning, waiting for your moment, James, as you end your turn. Loroth is up. He is going to run or head down below and using from the helm into the captain's quarters. Seeing Essa is by the thing, he is going to go ahead and take a swing at it to see if he can hit the thing. Although, to be fair, I think if he couldn't, I'd be shocked. Yeah, as he swings at it once more, trying kind of help you, Essa, easily toppling the creature, smacking it right upside the head. You watch as the crystal on the creature gets slashed at. You hear the cut, but as the axe almost seems to pull too early, it seems to kind of cut through the creature, still standing as it pulls itself back for a moment. Again, mirroring like as if it's been bloodied, with blood coming down the side of its lip and an injury upside or on the side of its face. Loroth looks at you and just gives you a thumbs up as he opens the door and heads inside.
Which one did he hit?
The frost giant.
So the one Essa was.
Yes.
next
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm. That's now. It is still standing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you. So sorry. What'd you say, Essa?
I just gave him a nod when he gave thumbs up.
Oh, yeah. Giving the nod, he heads inside, and you start to hear the sounds of metal smacking on metal as he ends his turn. Going back up, Essa, you are up.
So it's an air elemental in front of me, right?
Yes.
I don't think my breath is gonna help that much then. Okay. I guess. Do I get? I know I get a negative for range within 5 feet of an enemy. Do I get negative for shooting someone else while someone's within 5 feet of me?
I mean, I would normally say yes, but at the same time, I've seen enough trained archers pull shit like that. So I'm not gonna say yes just based on the actual how it would work. Especially because this air elemental doesn't know that what a bow is. It's just attacking you because it saw you almost kill one of its friends. So it wouldn't know to stop your bow. So yeah, I'd say you could without the decline.
Yeah, because I have a +5 to my archery compared to a +2 to my melee.
Yeah. I just say that if you were shooting this close, you'd still take the thing. But if you're like aiming at a different target, you can fully just stand there and take the hits while you're fucking shooting at something else, as long as it's not aiming at your bow.
Oh, yeah. There is a thing. If you shoot or throw a ranged weapon at a target engaged in melee with a friendly character, you take a -4.
So if you shoot so if you're gonna shoot the one Roland and James are fighting right now, you will still take a -4, but it's better than a -5 as far as that goes.
I'm more likely to hit the thing in melee with me.
That's true.
Time for some melee swings with the quarterstaff.
Okay. I assume you're just gonna drop the bow. You're not gonna try and like relatch it onto your back.
Yeah, I'll pick up the bow after.
Yeah, kind of dropping the bow and pulling the quarterstaff from your side. That's gonna take an action as far as like to pull the quarterstaff out and everything. And to drop the bow as one. So you only get one action now. But
that's fine. I got one swing.
Let's see. Oh.
The formula done goofed it.
I feel that. That's how half my Excel formulas end up looking. I'm sitting there trying to copy and paste.
Yeah, no.
As you try to take a swing at the creature, it seems to easily dodge out of the way, though it seems to still stand wary of you slightly as it looks down at you now. Alright. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope.
No? Alright. As you finish your turn, Essa, ready to duke it out basically with this frost giant air elemental. Roland, you are up.
I do need to confirm something. Is it just us three up here now with the air elementals?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So, am I within 5 feet of both of these?
Technically, it would be one. If we're going diagonal, he would be roughly. Yeah, I mean there's a 5-foot space between the two of you, so yeah, technically you're within 5 feet to hit him and the one you're in front of you, the fire giant looking one.
Good. Then I can use maneuver. So since I'm within range, threaten both of them, I can use Steel Wind. Let's just me
no.
Both of them.
No.
No. It's the same name for a different thing.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Thank God, I don't want to deal with that again. Fuck, I don't have the monsters for that.
Attack both of them with one action.
If you don't, for those who watch these episodes, you don't know what that is a reference to, go watch Monster Monday's sessions. You'll catch on really quickly what that turns out to be.
The great multi-hitting strike.
If you were around when Time Force was going, you would remember that Logger used that at one point.
Oh yeah, he did. That was how Fraz,
decimated the entire fucking military.
Yeah.
Do I flank both of them, or can I take a 5-foot step?
You're not technically gonna be flanking because of the fact of how you're angling. You're diagonal from 5 feet from the guy, but there's the stairs and that drop down. That's technically the 5 feet. So you're like you'd be basically stabbing at him over a pit. Here, if you want a visuals, because I'm probably, if that doesn't make too much.
Oh, yeah, I accept. But can I use a 5-foot step to get within flanking of both of them, or no?
No. Do it, you'd have to step into the hole and basically you'd fall.
The fire giant I'm flanking. All right,
yeah.
Understood.
Because you'd have.
First one will be for the fire giants.
All right, let's see what you got.
14.
That does not hit.
Okay.
Eight. Great numbers.
As you go to get ready to swing at this creature, getting yourself in a stance, preparing for to almost like as if the wind around you turns into wings as your blade slashes at the air, like anime style, waves of energy coming towards the creature. For a moment, it slashes at, but seems to go right past it, barely missing James as it kind of flies by him, seeing this.
Duck.
As the second one then comes over, cutting into the creature once again, but the gemstone that it seems to have, kind of realizing that could be the core, seems to almost unnaturally move away, Rollerman, as you seem to aim at it.
Alright. Then I will go ahead and just attack the... Which one looks more injured, or can I tell? I think it's probably the one that as it's fighting, right?
Yeah, the frost giant looks to be like it's like it looks like it's trying to create an image of it like having blood coming from its mouth. The fire giant looks to be semi-fine.
All right. Well, I will smack that one then.
All right. Let's see what you got.
19. There we go.
Turning around, seeing Essa like desperately trying to like poke and push this thing away, not as experienced with this quarterstaff, you turn and violently take a swing at. You hit the creature. Roll damage. As the sound it rings out, Essa and Rollman and James, you hear the cracking of some of the gemstone as you hear, and as it plops to the ground, finally managing to cut through that one. Rollman, you see it completely crack as the elemental dissipates. Essa, now seeing Rollman just killed the thing in front of you, managing to hold the line for you. The fire giant creature seems to look almost in a panic to all three of you.
Oh, you don't know what panic is yet, buddy.
Rollman, is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. The crew is going to continue to stay down. You hear the cook from below go, "All right, just knock him down here. We got the spears ready." As the sounds of like all of them like shouting, ready to fight from down in the stairs. You like continue your fight. Going back up to the top of the order, the fire giant is going to turn, or seeing that Rollman is the biggest threat, is going to kind of try and take a swing at him.
That means he's moving out of my range.
He is not moving because Rollman didn't move.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, so you're just flanking here. Yep.
He can just hit him.
All right. That's
Uh,
fine.
And he is going to go ahead and activate his ability, which is going to make him start glowing even brighter red. That's a 26 to hit, Rollman.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. I still only do 1d4 worth of damage, which is 1 point a minute. As you feel the fiery fist hit you, and a slight burn on your back as it slams into you. It's going to then turn as it swings at you, and it is going to try to grapple James. James, you get an opportunity attack for this.
Okay.
Hit him in the gonads again.
Roll 1d20, and that's an additional +2 to my thing
For flanking. Mm-hmm.
It's 5.
That hits.
24.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Is your weapon a 19 to 20 crit range, or is this 20 only?
Double checking it now.
Yeah, always a good idea. Double check. You should write that down to your sheet if you can. I think there's an area for
I
it.
didn't write it down.
No worries.
It's a morning star, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a 20.
I figured as
A
much.
shame.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
1d8. That's +3. Thank you, strength, for a little bit more. 7.
Yeah, as you slam into the creature, going right into its back with all your, right into its face with all your might, as it's turned towards you, not wanting to let this thing grab you, seeing what it tried to do earlier, James. The fear and panic and irritation of this creature ignoring you until now finally kind of just boils over. slamming into it. You watch as it kind of slightly gets pushed back a little bit, not moving from its square though. It stands back up a little bit bloody, and it seems to wipe its lip off as it kind of throws its hand down to the side. You see where the supposed liquid hits, a little bit of red liquid starts to kind of populate on the wood of the ship and starts to burn a little bit. The creature looks irritated at you, but as it failed its grapple check, that ends its turn. All right. James, you're up.
Yeah. I don't like him, and he's making things a little too hot in here. And with it just being us up here, it's time for some frost.
All right.
He's gonna freeze the fire giant.
You gonna ray of frost it?
Yep.
All right.
This is the first time I'm using it offensively instead of as a fucking thing on the environment. What do I roll here?
Let me pull it up.
Keep in mind, I believe casting a spell does provoke a attack of opportunity. You'd have to check that, but
yeah. So this is a ranged touch attack. Is basically what you're doing.
I will take a 5-foot step back then as I go to cast just before casting it.
Yeah.
Use
So.
that to get a little bit of range. It'll give him an opportunity to attack
it does
that
not.
way, but
5-foot steps do not provoke.
No, it doesn't. So this is just basically, this would be treated as an unarmed strike for you. So that basically is what it is from what I'm reading for this. In the case, the attacker makes a touch attack roll,
dex.
either ranged or melee. It just says it ranged or melee. So whatever your, oh yeah, dexterity modifier, yeah. You were correct.
so use my dex.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, his touch your AC does include all other modifiers. No, you don't use your dex. It does say your attack roll. It's whatever your main weapon is. That's what he's using, because that's his spell catalyst. So it's
Range attacks are dex based.
this Ray of Frost is a touch attack.
Range touch or melee?
Ray of Frost is touch attack. Is a ranged touch attack, but it is still a
Range
touch
is
attack.
dex.
Is it? It says it doesn't. That's not what it says here. But okay, we'll run it for right now. Yeah. So go ahead and make a dex, a d20 plus your dex as far as it goes.
D20 plus 2 for the first one. 10. Wow. Fuck,
Yeah. As you shoot at the creature, it seems to naturally, surprisingly enough, air elementals do have very high touch AC. Seems to very naturally almost move out of the way from the frost as it kind of goes off to the side, smacking against the stairs. Roland, you see as the ice kind of feeling the chill go past your face as it goes landing in behind the stair or into the stairs behind you.
Then I'll take another 5-foot step back in and smack it with the mace.
You only
Okay.
get one 5-foot step.
Yeah, you.
only get one. Oh, then I guess I'll just try again.
Alright.
Let's see what I can do.
You gonna take you're gonna take a swing with your Morning Star, or are you Ray of Frosting again?
Ray of Frosting it again. Let's
Okay.
see. 16.
16. That does hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. That's 1d3, I believe, of cold damage.
Yep. Yep.
All right, average damage.
Above
As
average.
as James holds his hand out and grabbing with his right hand out forward in front of him, grabbing his charm in his other hand, his wooden holy symbol, saying a prayer. You watch as the ray of frost comes shooting out of his hand once more, hitting the creature's elemental core and seeming to almost solidly freeze as it drops to the ground with a loud thud. The air elemental splitting apart as the winds seem to dissipate, the heat from earlier dissipating as you all watch as the creature dies.
I'm scooping that gem up and putting it in a pocket. That's not going nowhere.
Okay.
Not letting that roll off.
Alright, yeah. Here, I'll tell you what you find. And actually, I have the. You know, it's funny. I actually have all the values here this time. Yeah, as you grab this thing up, as you finish up
I'll grab
combat.
the broken ones too.
Okay, then I'll put them down.
I'm trying to pick up my bow.
Yeah, no worries. You picking up your bow quickly. Now this is in there, so I'm just gonna put that. So you find one actual whole blue gem or elemental gem, and as well as 2 or split ones. And let me just get this in there so you can add this to your inventory. There we go. And then for reference for what they weigh, they are each 1 pound.
Do a quick scan. Is there any more climbing the boat as is?
Give me a search check, please.
Okay.
Can I as well?
Yeah, feel free.
Search.
Oh shit!
Jesus! All right, finally. All right.
They almost punched me. Essa doesn't like being in melee. She's alert now.
Yep. No, that's fair. Damn! Now you get your good rolls, guys. Exit combat. You're like, yeah, guys, we're good now. Yeah, you both with a bit of panic and excitement for one with concern, one with excitement. You both like start scanning the skies, looking over the sides of the ships for other air elementals. Seeing no others that seem to be coming towards your ship, you do see the 3 ships are now about only 50 miles out from behind you. All 3 look to be from this distance with those search checks, where being all storm giants, all decked out in heavy leather armor that you can see magical runes carved on. These are not your average raiders, as their ships are even have fancy bits of gold and gemstones all put along the sides. These guys look wealthy and well armed. As you count, each ship has at least a crew of around 40, it looks like, that are armed to the teeth, coming towards your ship.
I feel like I should quickly call to the other people that the elementals are dead, but the ships are getting closer.
Alright, is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you shout out, a couple of the crew go, kind of start like whispering. You hear them talking amongst themselves. As you hear one go, "All right, we're sending someone out," and a guy kind of gets put. The skinniest of the frost giants gets pushed up and kind of walks up, keeks his head out, looking around, seeing you lot. He kind of smiles and then looks back down to the rest as they all slowly come out one by one. A few moments later, Loroth comes out with what looks to be a small dragon's egg in his hand that seems to have been wrapped up in some sort of blue cloth that every once in a while seems to almost go slightly invisible as you kind of stare at it. And he looks at each of you, James, Rolman, and Essa, and goes, does this belong to you? As he kind of unwraps this the egg.
Do you recognize the egg?
As you look at the dragon egg, you see this egg is blackish, like black scales with that looks to have some strange brown tuft marks that look to be. They definitely are scale-like, but they look to be bigger and thicker than the smaller black scales that seem to surround them. The egg, though small, seems to be very new looking.
No. Not
Never
mine,
seen it
at
before.
least.
Loroth just looks at you lot and goes, "Well, someone snuck this thing on my ship. Go ahead and
The direct
roll."
thing we've seen
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
anytime recently was the Landerkin, the half-breed with Landerkins.
We didn't take those ones, though.
Yeah, we kind of left those alone with the green dragons flying all over that forest.
Good story though.
It kind of looks at you lot and goes, "Oh, this isn't yours," and yes, I wonder why. This makes no sense on how this got on board. I haven't. My cruise.
Can I roll like an appraise on it?
Are you trying
does
to
that-
figure out
I'm gonna-
how much it's worth?
Or where? What would I need to roll to figure out where this kind of egg possibly come from?
Knowledge, nature, or handle animal.
Is there
Handle animal.
Yes.
I need
Hey, has to take a +1 to that. Have a guidance. Go.
You want handle animal done.
While they do that, can
yeah.
I look around the crew and
Go
see
ahead.
if there's anyone that is avoiding gazes or
Avoiding looking at the egg.
Yeah, give me
no,
a.
25.
that, or just becoming is an outlier essentially.
Don't
Okay.
be suspicious.
Give me a sense motive. While you do that, Essa, when you look at the egg, kind of hearing what James said, it takes a minute. Let me pull up the description.
Nat 20. That's fucking.
That's good.
I'm spelling this wrong for the person, but you'll get the definition.
Essa's eyes kind of like instead of widening like a person's, the lizard eyes, the slits kind of thin out, and her eyes kind of like then widen more, and she's like shaking slightly as she looks at the egg, like in shock.
As you do so, Rollman, as you're looking around as well, you don't notice any of the crew seems to look like they don't seem to give any suspicions. They all seem just as lost and concerned as the rest of the group does. Staring at S's reaction, especially, many of them look to be very scared currently as they just watched you lot fight three air elementals with little issue when they were almost lost to one. They look scared.
I look to the captain and whisper in his ear. None of the crews seem suspicious, from what I gather.
That's not a dragon egg.
What is it, Essa?
That's a Tarask egg.
That's even more dangerous.
Loroff goes, "No, Trask eggs are..."
It's a mixed breed.
There's no mixed breed. The only mixed breed creatures are like the rumored... Oh, no. And you just see the color leave his face as the realization hits Loroff.
What would I need to roll to get the similar realization?
You could try a sense motive to see if you can pick up on what he's putting down, or you can try to do a knowledge nature or a handle animal.
I will do sense motive. $14.
You get a hunch based on how he's acting and how S is acting. It takes you a minute to think. There's only one known person that has the rumors about them being half Tarask, half Black Dragon. That's the guy who rules the entire Dragon Empire.
That's not good.
You think?
I will,
Wahoo!
everyone to be quiet. We can't worry about this right now. And I point to the ships. We're about to be raided in... I don't know. Could I gauge how long until they meet us?
About roughly a day. If they're with the rate
day?
they're catching up on. Yeah, they're not. They're still keeping. They're catching more pace, but they seem to have been slowing down at this rate. They should have caught you by now, by what you can tell with how quickly they caught up.
We gotta worry about those ships. Anything unique about this ship? I turn to the captain that might help us against these.
He kind of thinks for a minute. Give me a second. You look for, or he kind of looks around for a minute. And he goes. He looks down at the egg and looks down, back up at you and goes, "We have a bargaining chip, but beyond that, I don't have anything that can make this thing go faster. It's a fucking ship. The best we can do is have the crew row. That I don't know. We don't have enough people though to row this whole thing. Let alone the strength." He kind of looks about and goes, "We can try and land in Gold's Ruin. They won't follow us in there, but I can't guarantee we'll survive." He's starting to look panicked as he's looking at the rest of the crew, and the rest of the crew is starting to also.
Day to catch up with the stuff we rough.
I wouldn't
Right,
say
Rollman?
that. They moved very fast, but they slowed down for some reason.
Well, we dispatched the air elementals. That could be why.
Potentially.
I don't know if a raiding party that strong would rely on air elementals that weren't that strong.
Day at best, we'll say.
We could hope they're coming peacefully.
The shouts and roars coming from the distance as you hear in giant one of them go, "I'm gonna take everything from you and then screw your skull in."
James, I don't think they're coming peacefully.
Yeah, hearing that, my optimism is very, very much dampened.
Hear another shout out, "I'm gonna eat you and then skull fuck you because he's not willing to."
I'll be honest. I don't think this counts as a bargaining chip. They're gonna take it and then they're gonna kill us all.
Loroff just nods as he looks at hearing this, and still pale, fear in his eyes.
We'll have to
The
land.
best bet would be landing somewhere that we can bargain with this with a Dragon Lord, because they'd honestly be more interested in letting us
I
live
think
alive.
they also would probably just kill us.
Most likely.
Tough situation.
Who
We
runs
might-
Gold Ruins again?
That's just, well, you actually, I mean, you'd know on the map, it'd be Sisormex, Conjuration Dragon. Also, the known as the
dead?
smallest recorded dragon in history.
He's dead, isn't he?
I love him so much. He is the best image
He's not
of
dead.
all
We could
Dragon
try to
League.
drag them into their airspace and then flee somehow, but do you still have that?
Oh, it was nearly assassinated. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have that giant tarp you had this thing hidden with before?
He kind of nods, looking at you with a little bit of confusion.
Let's keep moving. I want to take a look at that real quick. I have an idea, and it might work. It might also really not work, but it's innovative. But what I'm about to do, I ask that you keep to yourself.
He just kind of looks at you, completely confused, and goes, "If you can get me out of here, I won't even speak that you rode on my ship, let alone whatever you can do to save us." Like, utter fear in his eyes at this point as he's looking at you watching
go
this.
and see if the enchantment is still... If the enchantment's still there on the thing.
Yeah, as
Out of power.
the crew kind of one of the crew members brings you down below you. I assume Essa and Rollman, are you going to be following after James, or are you going to stay up
I trust
top?
him. I'm going to be helping get the ship ready to head to Gold's Ruin instead.
Okay. Kind of helping getting Laura to go up and get the ship turned back around to go continue south, seeing the city it's in its best direction. Essa, what about you?
I think if the giants see me, this will only get worse. The animals were like falling over and shit last time I checked. I'm gonna go get them sorted out so that doesn't become a problem later.
Okay. Yeah, heading down to the lowest deck, you kind of pass by as you see James starting to pull out the tarp from one of the cases on the second floor. As you head down, kind of starting to help a couple of the animals right themselves. One of the bulls that has been turned on its full back as its tail continues to spin in like a little cyclone motion, mooing as you kind of slowly help the big guy over onto his side to right himself. James, as you're on the middle floor where a lot of the cabins, the chef's little kitchenette is set up and everything, one of the crew kind of pulls out a box and brings out this large cloth, and it's just a big piece of cloth with the invisibility cast on it that you can see a couple of like giant runes, well, literally giant runes, but also runes written in giant, carved or kind of written putting onto the item to activate with a little bit of magic, and the crew member kind of looks at you, waiting to see what you're gonna do with it.
Okay, looking it over just naturally without trying to add more magic in yet. Does it seem like it would work again if I were to put more magic into it?
I mean, it looks like it just has to have magic implemented onto the runes to activate.
I'm gonna immediately start working at that.
Okay. You would know. Just outright, it will cost you basically a second level spell or 2 level 1 spells to activate this. For the amount of magic it's going to take to get this thing going.
Given I can pray and get that done, it's gonna take 2 hours.
Okay. I assume you tell the crew member.
Tell him it's gonna take 2 hours, and then we'll have invisibility again.
He just kind of nods and he goes running upstairs, seeing Rollerman helping Laura kind of getting the ship turned around, getting the crew organized, getting them yelled at. Rollerman taking easy assertion over the crew with his experience as a mercenary. Many of the sailors, very experienced soldiers themselves, snapping to as soon as orders are being barked out with confidence. This crew, one of the crew members, the skinnier of the lot, comes up. Rollerman, seeing that you've got Loroff even under orders, he looks to you immediately and goes, he said, yeah, James said 2 hours. We've got to buy time.
Should be good as long as they don't speed up. For your job, wander the edge of the boat and make sure you don't see any elementals. If you see an elemental, tell everyone to get off the edges and where it's at.
He gives you a thumbs up and starts kind of like jogging along the side of the ship, watching everything. Okay. You watch as the ship hops to and starts moving. Rollerman, you are in charge of the ship and its movement. You are currently pretty high up in the sky. Rough judgment, you think it's going to take you around 4 hours to get down to the ground to get to Gold's Ruin. And by the looks of it, you start to hear something in the distance. Go ahead and give me a... actually, all of you, because you can all technically hear this with how loud this thing is. Give me a listen check, please.
Fucking...
Oh, if you don't... James, you don't have to. I'm just saying you can. Like, that's an option.
I'm giving it. God damn it, something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 19.
19?
I might hear it.
Okay. 4?
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
13.
Yeah, Rollman, over the shouting and kind of getting the crew focused in and getting them going, you are lost into it, focused on saving these people. You're not paying attention to the enemy at this point. You're just trying to get these people going. As you start to kind of ignoring what's going on, the ship starts moving forward. James, as you're focusing on this blanket, this large tarp, you start to kind of, something catches your attention in the background as you're starting to push your magic into the item. Saying your prayer, you hear the sounds of something like a small sputtering and small explosion sounds coming from behind you. As seeing outside of the window, you can definitely still see those ships on the only few miles away at this point, roughly not being able to tell from the distance. But as you start to focus in, Essa, even with all the animals mooing, yelling, shouting all above deck, all the chaos going on, the calm and collectiveness of being in a situation and the soberingness of what you're realizing is on this ship, keeping you calm, you hear the sound of the explosions and the sounds of the sputtering as you look out one of the side windows at the bottom of the ship and see smoke coming from the back of one of the Storm Giant raiding ships.
Oh. Well, isn't that interesting?
Okay, go ahead. Did you want to do anything with that, Issa?
I mean, I'll make sure everyone else saw or heard it, because I feel like everyone wouldn't have, because everyone's busy.
I heard the sputtering. Didn't get a good look at what happened.
So you're gonna
Get busy here.
yeah.
I'm just gonna point out the fucking where it came from.
So you're gonna kind of after helping some of the animals, going up and kind of pointing that out to the crew, trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
Okay. Passing by James, as you kind of mentioned, James letting you kind of giving you his little speech. You run up, kind of letting him do his thing. You rush up, seeing Rollman completely suck into it, getting his attention, pointing out to Rollman as you both turn around, look. Are you going to stay on top deck, Essa, or are you going to go back down to help the animals?
I'll go back to helping once I make sure they all see it.
Okay. Rollman, as Essa comes up pointing it out, you and Lorof kind of turn, and Lorof looks at you, Rollman, and just smiles, the biggest, wickedest smile on his face.
You know what could have caused that? I'm not well known with airships and how they work.
I fried one of the idiots tried to put more energy in that crystal than it could handle. It popped. He starts chuckling. He goes, and that's the lead ship. They won't follow in without them because they got the captain on there. They're not going to come after us. He goes, this is the luckiest damn day of your lives and mine. And you see a big sigh of relief as he calms for a moment. And then the smoke starts to kind of dissipate again as the ship starts to the ship behind it starts to sputter up and kick back on and starts going faster.
Mm-hmm. Before you were going to say that, I was going to say we should get low anyway, just in case something happened, but I don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah, I really need to stop opening my goddamn mouth. And you hear from the down below on the deck, the skinnier guy you were just telling to kind of watch everything. So the guy speaks up and goes, I told you, brother, you should have kept your mouth shut down when we said so. As he kind of laughs at the situation, continuing to jog around the boat, running as fast as he can, watching for any sort of things.
I'll tell one of the other crew, tie a rope around that boy in case he gets pulled off.
One of them seems to kind of nods and kind of goes after him to help him out. As you start lowering at faster speed, Essa kind of turning and hang back down below to the deck. The ship starts to drop down at as fast as it can, and the storm giants start catching up on your tail.
In these prayers, by the way, I am going to be exchanging out one of my first level spells for Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Temporarily, so at the last prayer of it, that is one of the things that'll be happening.
Okay. Yeah, as only moments have passed as you're down, still on the middle of deck praying, the ship, Rollman, you're seeing the ships above you starting to come down quickly, keeping up with almost pace. You'd guess maybe 2-3 rounds before they'll catch you, so 6 to 12 seconds as they're now making breakneck speed after you. What do you want to do?
I curse in primitive and tell the crew to get ready on the cannons.
They all look at you, not understanding what you said in primitive, and go to the cannons. Many of them getting them ready with what looks to be little crystals that are designed to kind of pop, and very tiny brass balls that are about the size of a little bit bigger than a ball bearing, that seem to have little and large spells cast onto them.
In the preparatory beforehand, could I have told everyone to get a rope tied around themselves and to like the main something sturdy? That way, they can't just be grappled and torn and thrown off the edge.
Yeah, you looking around for a moment, you see that they definitely have the rope, but the amount of time it would take them, you're not 100% sure they'd all make it to the cannons before they'd be able to tie themselves off.
I tell them to get to the cannons. I'm not good with the cannon, so I'm gonna start tying.
Okay. Yeah, as you start grabbing rope, that is, I believe, there is a use rope skill.
There is a use rope skill.
So go ahead and let's see what you got.
I don't have regs that use rope.
That's unfortunate. We're gonna roll tonight then. See what you get.
What type of skill is it? Is it intelligence?
It's Dex.
It's Dex. And you know, there's actually a DC specifically for what he's trying to do that's already pre-mentioned.
Wow. Did I beat it? I don't know. I'm not aware.
You did not. You're one lower.
Damn it.
Because the closest to it is a 15 for it, so it varies, but technically the size of these creatures, it would take you a good while to get this. Yeah, you start rushing around trying to tie. You get 1 to 2 of them down before the ships are, like, on you. And you hear Loroff scream, like, as he starts freaking out, looking about, as a couple, 2 storm giants drop onto the back of the ship. And keeping with the initiative from earlier, just to make my life a little easier, I'll just...
Guessing I'm gonna hear this. I'm gonna have to go up there.
Give me a minute, because they got the same initiative as one of my things. Do you guys want to re-roll, or are you good with keeping the same ones?
I'd like to keep mine.
Well, it's a group decision.
A nice 20 there.
It's a group decision, ain't just the one Marty member, so...
I know.
I'm gonna ask Grumpy who rolled the worst.
I would like to roll better than I did.
I would also like to roll better.
That's fine.
Alright, yeah, feel free to roll, guys.
There's a chance I roll lower, but it's a low chance.
There's a chance we all roll lower.
Okay.
The gamble we're taking here.
Oh, there's a likelihood I'm gonna roll lower.
Not that much better.
Well,
15.
Well,
The crew did worse.
Places,
yeah, I see that, and I'm not a fan.
8 for... Oh, no. 15 for James.
Well, I'm below Jack. At least I'm not gonna get stabbed because of my low initiative.
And then Rollman, what'd you get? It's
14.
14. Okay, let me reorganize this real quick, and then that'll make it easy. Oh, that does kind of hurt. All right. And then let me roll real quick for the Loroff himself, who's got less of a thing now because he's surprised. So he's unfortunately, oh well, not that great. James, what's your Dex modifier?
+2.
All right, he beats you. Okay. All right. As we go back up to the top, all right, the Storm Giants are first. The first one is going to take a swing immediately at poor Loroff and try to kill him. Let me pull up the Storm Giant sheet for this. Perfect. Oh, no. I just saw the modifier for this. This is going to hurt.
Storm Giants are very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, he's also wielding a greatsword for references. You see this massive storm giant dropping down, full breastplate of what looks to be bronze on him. You see he's missing a couple of teeth, a couple others that seem to have gleaming gold. A broken helmet, or a slightly broken helmet looks a little bit too small, and a couple pieces of jewelry that definitely look to have been necklaces for smaller races that he's using as armbands and like to tie around his biceps and such as he takes a swing on Loroff and easily hits and is going to go ahead and roll. Oh, I didn't do the full for that. Let me fix that. So that's 31 points of damage as you watch Loroff's head go clean off his shoulders.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Dropping to the ground, completely dead, and you hear the crew panic, scream, and the Storm Giant, laughing a hearty laugh, he roars out, shouting out in Giant to surrender your goods and prepare to die. As it runs its turn, as it used its movement to get down here, Loroff would be up, but he's dead. And James, you're up next, on the middle deck.
I heard that.
The bellowing giant, yeah, he's quite loud. And you would have felt the very heavy impact of the giant slamming onto it, because while they're not the tallest, they're definitely the heaviest of the giants from what I recall.
Come on, think. Do I have what I have? Actually, that might work.
Okay, what are you thinking?
It's a crap shot, but it might.
What do you got?
You do it.
Find the right skill. Never mind, I'm not charismatic for this.
Okay.
Fuck. I was gonna try shouting draconic, intimidating, and calling for help at the same time.
What do you think of them?
Isn't any I don't pray to a specific deity, so asking for help that way is not gonna get me shit.
I will also mention it will be about a 10-foot movement to get from the middle where you're the middle floor to the top. So top deck.
Okay. How close is the guy to the ledge?
Well, you wouldn't know that. You're down on in the second floor. You'd have to go
One of the things
upstairs.
to do, and it's called, and I'm checking for it now.
Mm-hmm.
Special attack. Da, 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 shove.
Yeah, it's called a bull rush. There's a charge, bull rush. There's a few of them, but again, you'd have to be up on the upper deck to get up there. So that'll be 10 movement speed to get to the upper deck, and then another 10 to get up to the where the helm is, where the two storm giants are currently standing.
Well, I'm actually going to stop praying into the giant thing that we may have to use as a fucking parachute.
Yeah.
And quietly say to a prayer to myself as I go up on deck, and I'm gonna try and settle this. Interestingly.
Okay. Are you trying to get up onto the helm where the storm giants are currently standing, or?
I won't be right in front of them. No offense, they will behead me the moment they see me.
I mean, they do have a height to hit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just coming. I assume you just be coming up to the top deck from the top stairs. You can
and
see.
I'll be nodding to Roland to go down there, hoping he gets the hint of big thing. Make sure to grab.
Roman cannot see you up by the helm. He's like staring at these two storm giants. Theoretically, was standing next to near Loroth when he got decapitated.
Oh, hold on, even more. And in giant, I'm going to shout out, "You're attacking a peaceful trade ship over Dragonlands. You know it's just going to take one person screaming loud enough, and that Dragon Lord that was almost assassinated is going to be flying up here with an entire army. Personally, I think we all should fucking run, because they're going to kill anybody in their airspace."
Roll diplomacy. Or, no, yeah, diplomacy, because you're not trying to intimidate. Yeah, so.
Please. 17!
Okay. As you do so, as you shout this out, you see a couple of storm giants on the ship seem to, somewhat seem to show reaction, quieting down slightly, looking about down towards the ground, and kind of taking account as the ships are kind of slowly sinking down. Slowly at top speed sinking down. The two though standing on the deck seem to give out a hearty laugh. As you say this.
Killing merchants isn't very lucrative.
As you say that, you see a big gleam on the one who killed Loroth. Well, not knowing that he killed Loroth, only seeing the bloody great sword he has in his hand. You see the golden teeth starts to gleam as he smiles as you say merchant. Thus, James, you've moved up your 10 feet. You've spoken, which is a free action. Did you want to do anything else?
Yeah, the energy into the elemental gem is gone entirely, right?
You don't know.
Well, I know the split ones are definitely gone.
You don't know. You'd have to investigate. You've never seen these, you've never gotten a chance to look at these gems up close. This is the first time you're ever seeing these things.
Well, can't do anything with them then. Yeah, that's about all I can do.
Okay. Alright. As you end your turn, Rolliman, you're up.
Yeah, I might just gotta tie a rope for myself.
Yeah, I would assume so. You would have tied yourself off at the top. And, you would have gotten 2 other crew members before rushing back up here, seeing the ships coming up.
Alright. Can I position myself so that when I jump off, I get the storm giants are very big, yes?
Yeah, they aren't as tall as frost giants, but they're definitely wider, so...
Do you think I'd be able to pull them over the edge if the rope caught them as I'm falling?
How much do you weigh?
Let me see. With all my carry weight, I weigh 236.
So... not knowing this, but you'd be able to tell by their size, roughly, that these creatures outweigh you by, thousands of pounds. It would be the same idea if a mouse walked up to you with a rope and tried to pull you out, and you were, 400 pounds. It'd be a drop in the water as you kind of get the idea looking at this, situation. These creatures are just too big to move like that.
Okay. Does one of these two look like the leader?
The one who initially attacked with the teeth looks to be the most beaten up, or looks to be the most brutish and scarred, and also most ordained with different jewelry and such like that. So you guesstimate he's either the leader or someone important.
All right. First, I'll try and calm the crew down so they don't fucking panic, and I'll say in giant, do not worry. Lightningfoot, Rolliman Lightningfoot will lead you into victory. Do not let these brutish creatures deter you.
My God.
Okay.
You're about to get beheaded, my good man.
Probably.
All right. You watch. Go ahead and roll a diplomacy to see if you can encourage the crew.
Diplomacy. Actually, I can rank some now. Too bad I don't have any charisma. $14.
14. As you say this, the crew seems to be somewhat reinvigorated, kind of steeling themselves about the situation almost as they look about, ready for what's going on, and they give you a slight nod.
And I look to James and I give him a smile. Remember me, James, and I'm going to do a maneuver.
Oh no! Wait.
Called Charging Minotaur towards the big guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
You better not fucking die.
Okay.
So this lets me. As you roar across the battlefield, you position yourself to deliver a devastating charge attack. As part of this maneuver, you make a bull rush attack as part of a charge, so I would charging them. Neither the movement nor the bull rush attack provokes attacks of opportunity.
I was about to ask, because I was reading this, I'm I just saw that. Okay, so, alright.
Yep. So now I have to do a bull rush, which is not going to go well since you're probably very strong.
He also has improved bull rush, but turns out does not matter, because that doesn't
matter.
give you the attack of opportunity back, which kind of sucks.
Get dunked on.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
So it's a strength check against him that he's gonna. Okay.
He can still roll poorly.
He could roll poorly at it.
I gotta get my modifier up. Give me a second.
We're going for a Hail Mary.
It's a Hail Mary.
I mean, with the I sent Royce the quiet bear I did.
Could
Yeah.
I have intimidated him at all with my speech, by the way, or no?
It wouldn't have worked. No, not for this guy specifically.
Come on. That's good.
That's a 33. Man, is a 39 in strength.
You want a 19, dude. That's fucked up.
This is fucked up. You're throwing this against level 1s.
Yeah. You know. Think about it, Cameron.
What
What's
is,
you always remember my ruling.
It fails.
So if a bull rush fails, if you fail, to beat the defender's check, you move feet 5 foot straight back to where you were before you moved into his space. If that space is occupied, you fall prone. So you just basically move back to where you were standing. As you James,
Charged,
yeah.
Which would be I'm closer now.
So yeah, you would just move back. You'd give a back up 5 feet basically. So you're just standing right in front of him now. So James, you hear as Roman says this over the side of the ship, or over the side of the helm, and as he turns and as you shout out what your response, he charges into the guy with all his strength, roaring with all his might. And as he slams into the storm giant, the giant just kind of looks down, and you see a slight move on his leg, and for a moment, you can see a little bit of panic as he, for a split second, thinks he's actually being moved by a pipsqueak of Rolleman's height. Until he kind of stabilizes his leg and tightens his muscles, and Rolleman finds himself pushed back into where he's standing 5 feet in front of him. The storm giant lets out a bellowing laugh.
That counts as an action.
It does.
So I'm going to now try to attempt to sunder his weapon.
Okay. Let's see. So you're going to
Get
try.
it off the side.
Again, so you will provoke an attack of opportunity from him.
I will this time.
Yeah, because I assume you don't
I
have
don't have
improved
it.
sunder. Yeah.
For that.
Alright.
After the charge, I would to this guy is for dodge. I have +1 AC against him.
That's good, because you're about to need it. That's a 40.
40? Yeah, that definitely hits me.
Oh, Grumpy. Oh, Roman, why would you run this thing? Oh, no. Alright, I'm sorry. I take no.
Just stop.
You watch as Roman gets cut down, blood flying everywhere as he tries to slash at the Storm Giant's weapon. The Storm Giant, seeing Roman just trying with his desperation, swings back, giving a quick parry off and slamming his blade into Roman, cutting across his chest. Roman, you coughing up blood, you can feel yourself dying as you stand there. Any last words before you fall unconscious?
No. I'll just snarl at him.
Snarling as you drop to the ground in a bloody pool. Alright. Thus ending your turn. Essa, would you still want to skip your turn?
I've done what I had to do.
Okay. Let me go ahead and pull up something real quick. Okay. As you begin, as you kind of start to look at thinking about what's going on, James, for a moment, you hear the faintest sound for a second. Something in the or something below you sounds to start crunching, cracking, and breaking things, but as soon as it picks up, you also then almost immediately the sound is overwhelmed by a massive roar that lets out, causing the ship to shake. The entire area around you feels like it's shaking from the magic and power that comes from it. Not being able to tell from where it's at without a check. The crew.
I'm going to smile.
Yeah, the crew seems to look scared. Both crews freaking out, going pale.
I raise a hand to calm our crew.
As you do so, these giants, thinking though a dragon lord no less, does not seem to be even phased by your calmingness, and seem to all start panicking and running down below deck. As the sound goes off, the storm giant going up, because the crew using their turn, they're gonna run below. The storm giants, huh?
I'm staying where I am.
Yeah, you're good.
I might be able to rule in the chaos, but.
The one storm giant looks at the other, the larger one that just cut down Rolleman, and kind of just gives him a nod and starts climbing back up climbing a rope up onto the ship. The other one seems to take out a health potion and kind of pours it over onto Rolamin. Give me a second.
He pours a what on him?
A healing potion.
Oh Jesus, Roland!
I proved myself.
I don't remember what the greater healing fucking was back in 3.5. Oh, it'd be Cure Light Wounds. My apologies, back in the day.
Cure Light Wounds?
No, let me see if it's that one, because I gotta find it. Oh, no, sorry, it'd be Cure Serious Wounds is what it's considered. Okay, yeah. So that will be... yeah, Roman, you find yourself barely I rolled max, by the way. Oh, plus the caster level. Hold up. Oh no, because it's a potion. We're good. Yeah. So as he pours this over onto you, the storm giant like leans over and whispers into your ear, Roman, and you hear, "Do not forget the name, Torun Stormwalker. I will find you." As he kind of leans back up and looks over at James and just gives him a glare as he then turns and climbs onto the ship and pulls himself up.
I am rushing up and checking on Roland and the corpse there now. I'm guessing it's time for a medicine check or a heal check.
Roman, are you fully health for 15? I'd assume. Yeah. No, as you lean over, yeah, you lean over, James, and expecting to pulling out your healers kit, getting ready to perform surgery, seeing the knowing the amount of blood all around Roland's body is just not too much for him to even be alive. You quickly flip him over, and where you expect to see a massive slash mark, cut open of his entire chest, his heart with the amount of blood there is, there's not even a scar. He's fine. His his clothing is cut to ribbons, but Roman is fully fine, covered in his own blood, but no wound is open as you look on him.
Buddy, next time I'm trying to be diplomatic, don't fucking risk your life.
I'd like to come strolling out like nothing happened.
He wasn't gonna do any diplomacy.
No, but the intimidation on the crew might have made them start turning tail. Anyways, I look over to the corpse of our dear captain, and it's like, he's fucking dead.
Crap.
As you kind of blinking for a minute, seeing Essa coming, kind of waltzing up, the crew kind of looking at Essa, wondering where the lack of concern as the storm giant ships kind of pull off and go up. The ship continually going down. By the way, it's still dropping.
Do I know how to
try and level it out?
I was gonna say it'd be use magical device. If Roland, James, or Essa, if any of you are gonna try and take the helm, I will also
first ask the crew. I'll actually look for the first mate. How about that? That's probably a good idea.
That's a safe thing. Get his ass up here. Get on the wheel.
You look around. You see Bjorn Woodwalker is looking. It looks like he's staring at Essa almost in amazement currently, along with the rest of the crew.
I'll shout, Bjorn, get over here and man this ship so we don't crash into the ground and die.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. I've got to fly. He kind of starts jumping up and running.
I'm going to move the corpse of his brother off and just cover it with I guess my new bedroll.
I'll put on a confident demeanor and address the crew. Don't stand there and do nothing. Tie yourselves and get ready. We might not be out of this yet.
As you say that,
I'm not gonna be up here. I can't go back to low deck with what's going on up here.
Yeah. As you say this, oh, go ahead, Essa. Yeah.
As Essa strolls up and she looks at the subject leaving, she just goes, "I didn't think they'd be scared of little old me, but fair enough."
I look at Essa. You've earned a fucking bonus.
As you say this,
you do it perfectly.
Roll them in the crew. Go ahead and roll me diplomacy real quick.
They have a bonus for having a good name from them, or no?
Let's say, yeah, I'll give you a +3 for it.
Alright.
I think that's fair, because you've definitely earned the respect of these frost giants looking on at you.
Oh, solid 12.
Although they seem to be, a couple of them look like they're not really knowing what to do, but seeing how Bjorn seems to follow your guys' orders, and many of the frost giants growing up on that structural concept of a military uprising, many of them seem to snap into place immediately. Two of them head down, bringing up the tarp for James, and the others seem to start getting the sails out, or moving the sails, start getting the ship moving again. All of them running to man their stations and get going. Bjorn seems to, as the mention, as Essa says that, Bjorn looks down and towards you, Essa, and goes, I don't know if that was you or the Dragon Lord down below, but either way, there's a dragon coming up after us, and you pissed it off, as you feel the whole ship kind of like hard turn up as it starts to go at an angle.
Can I go and see the dragon?
You can, easily spotting it. It doesn't take a search check to see it. The large, very bright, white, fluffy dragon that is coming flying towards you that looks like an enlarged version of the smaller version of what Sisormax is said to look like, coming flying up. And I think you posted a picture earlier.
Yeah. I did.
Yep, so for those wanting to see, you see a white scaled dragon with a bright red eyes, a little bit of fluff on his wings. Though he looks to be, for a distance, small, he seems to get bigger and bigger as he's coming towards the ship.
Bjorn, if anyone asks, this is the newest purchase of the Ironheart company that might get us a little bit out of the trouble that we might end up in.
I would start
James?
with maybe.
You guys walk away. I got it.
I
Leave
give
this
the.
to Essa, though.
I whispered to Essa, this storm giants. Their leader was named Torun Stormwalker. It might help with getting his attention on them instead of us.
Essa will nod.
Bjorn goes, should I level out and let him on then? Or should I try to outrun him?
Yeah.
Alright.
We're not outrunning. Let him up. It'll look better on us.
Hey, you know what? I ain't getting killed today. I'll jump off this ship before I die to the dragon. As he kind of like levels it out and slows it.
I pat his back a little bit. We're merchants. Diplomacy is a bit better than murder.
James, at your height, you are patting his calf.
You know what? I accept it.
Yeah, I'm not joking. These ships are massive compared to you. You are smaller, shorter than most chairs in this
I
thing.
could fit a forge in this. I could fit an entire forge and merchant shop in this place for people my size.
Yeah, go ahead, Essa.
Before Sisormix gets here,
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at the others and say either walk away and let me handle it or don't speak.
Most of them look to nod.
I'm just gonna go be messing with a tarp.
It'd be best if most of you walked below deck.
I'll stay here, but I will. Do I know how to stand in front of the Dragon Lord? Or
I assume Essa would at least. With
yes, Essa, explain to me what I should be doing.
It's really, as far as it goes, it's the simplest thing. Show respect, to respect their title as Dragon Lord, and don't try to look him in the eye like any noble.
So, because Roland's not going to be speaking, would it be best to recommend him to just stay looking like towards the ground, more away from him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be staying.
Just keep your head down, literally.
Basically.
You take. Oh, sorry. What was that as well? James, what'd you say?
I'll stay up with the guy steering the ship. Stay up with Bjorn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stay here with him. We'll stay up here. Don't look the thing in the eye. Don't fucking talk.
Alright, as you do, you all kind of like, the ship starts to slow, and as the dragon comes up, it starts to shrink in size as it lands, taking on what looks to be a somewhat, like, frost giant-esque look to them, with a bit, but much shorter and very pale white skin. The Sisormax kind of walks up the deck, feeling the entire ship kind of shake under his feet. His bright green hair seeming to flare out as the whiteness disappears from it. He kind of smiles at each of you and looks about and goes, "So, children, to what do I owe this pleasure of killing you all today?" And he looks about, and then as he kind of spots Essa seeing the Dragonkin, goes, "Oh! You're one of the Koboldkin." He kind of gives a smile at that and goes, "Why don't you tell me what this crew's doing here before I kill all ya?"
The merchants this one was traveling with were being raided by storm giants, led by a man named Torun Stormwalker.
Stormwalker? That bastard thinks he has a chance at raiding my territories. You see the white turns to starts to go slightly green and then to red, and you can start to see magic, raw magic starting to flare out of the fingertips of this Dragon Lord. as he starts to get madder. You see the little fireball starting to pop off on his fingertips. He kind of looks about and goes, "And who are you lot, specifically?"
I'm assuming he's looking at me, James, and... we are a smaller merchant company that was getting passage by these people to go more south.
I don't like giants traveling through my lands. But as I can see the body of your captain is dead over there, I'm going to take that as your punishment for this situation. I'm going to let you leave this one time because I'm going to go kill that Stormwalker guy before he thinks he can get away, as you hear the roar shout out of the ships of the Storm Giants speeding faster as you see the crystals starting to slightly smoke as they're trying to get away. And he goes...
If I remember right, Stormix was the Conjuration Dragon, right?
Correct.
Once he says his piece, I'll probably say something after.
Yeah, he kind of looks about and goes, "Well, if that, since I'm gonna let you pass and deal with this, get your giant and inferior asses out of my lands and don't come back." As he looks about the giants, and not really paying attention to Rollman, James, or Essa. He just seems to eye up the crew, and then he looks back at Essa and goes, "And you'd be best to take this skyship for yourself and kill this crew unless you're going to enslave them. Giants aren't to be trusted."
The young one appreciates the guidance of the Conjuration Lord.
You see a smile on his face, and he goes, "Yeah, alright. I was going to blow up your ship and I flew away, but at least you understand basic respect, and your halfling there," as he looks at Rollman, "is at least showing even more respect, so fine."
James has had his bow, just sort of not listening, but saying nothing as well.
Yeah, James, he doesn't seem to really say anything as he eyes you up, but kind of not doing anything towards you at this point. The creature kind of somewhat looks like he acknowledges you lot for a moment and just kind of shakes his head. "I don't need to be dealing with small fries. Fine, just be out of my territory before the end of the night. I don't want to see you come morning." And he kind of grows out these two small little white wings that look to be the size of, for someone of James's height. And as they start to flap, almost with a strange grace, you feel even more vast wind coming from them as the body takes off and flies off to the Storm Giant ships that you can hear screaming and panic coming from this distance.
Once he's gone, Essa kind of lets out a shuddering breath that, like, a little bit of, like, gas and lightning comes out of, and then she falls over, like, to her knees. And she, like, sighs in relief.
Collapse back, because I'm guessing he's arcane. He's magic enough to understand that there was just a ton of magic right in front of him, and he is terrified.
For someone to sense the level of magic at that capability be pretty unknown or pretty difficult to pull off. But the sense of the spells that he had at his fingertips and the lack of caring with the magic, you definitely do get a sense that this is a being who knows how to use magic. But even with the high or if you want to roll for it, you can try and see if you can sense how much magic he can use.
When they
just saying, the general arcana magic coming off of him was, because he's 20th level, I'm first, was too much for me as a caster.
I will say, he's not a 20th level caster.
He's not.
Okay, well, still,
and he's like a 14th
at least
level
10
caster,
levels,
I think.
plus 10 levels of sorcerer.
Yeah. What were you saying, Roland? Sorry.
I'll whisper to them, remain in your positions, don't weaken. He might still be looking at us. We'll stay this way for a little bit.
I would say it'd be best.
I will be as a statue, still looking
Yeah.
as I am.
Jordan, let's go.
Yeah, as you kind of stay, Roman, much of the crew kind of focusing on their jobs as they say that, while and James kind of get themselves back to their footing, kind of calming themselves down with the situation. Essa seeming very disturbed by exactly what they just saw for a moment. With the comment, Essa, as you say that as well, the Frost Giant crew kind of taking this into the seriousness and the real what's going on around them. Many of them seem to snap to, and the ship starts going at a faster speed. By almost nightfall, you find yourselves at the ocean or at the edge of the ocean, already passing over their land. kind of everything calming down as you all find yourselves able to somewhat not rest, but in a sense not have to watch over your shoulders as the ships disappear far into the sunset.
Do you guys know how long it's been since I've had to talk to a dragon that could kill me at any moment?
You've talked to one like that before? I give him a raised eyebrow.
I'm a dragonkin.
That doesn't. I didn't think that meant that you all meant
say dragon
dragon
lord,
lords
dragon.
on a
Yeah.
you know.
General dragons.
Hmm.
I'm from a land full of them. I mean,
Only thing I know is my kingdom, my homeland has a friendly relationship somewhat with Yakroxer. Oh. But even that's supposed to be really harrowing to go meet him.
yeah, we got lucky. It was him of all dragon lords. He can be a little easier to please than
I
some
don't
of the
understand why that storm giant gave me his name. It did not help him.
Generally, probably a pride thing, I'm gonna guess.
Definitely did not.
He may have wanted to fight you later.
As you lot kind of taking a minute and kind of thinking about what's going on, give me a second.
I'm going to ask Bjorn, so how does your family handle their funeral rites? Looking at his brother decapitated.
He kind of takes a minute and looks at you and just kind of, like, almost without, like, the kind of annoyance at your comment to that, just...
Yep.
Really? He just kind of looks at you, just, like, completely open-mouthed at that as you say this. And he goes,
I wasn't trying to be rude, I was trying to see if there was anything I could do to help set it up before we got back there. I apologize for my bluntness.
I just watched my brother die before me. I don't want to think... God, what is our father gonna... Fuck, our father's gonna blame me. And you start to see, there's something, things start to tick, and he steps away from the helm, and you can start to see quickly this guy's starting to have a mental breakdown as he starts spiraling fast.
I tell him, Bjorn, I'm not well versed in the steering, and in case something happens again, we were attacked and you were needed elsewhere, do you think you could explain to me briefly how this works?
Oh, yeah, and he kind of comes over. He is going to roll to see if he can teach you for his thing.
Don't worry.
As he's really distraught, his mind's very distracted. He kind of shows you roughly how to steer the ship, like steer the helm, and how it makes the wings kind of open up and like drift slightly, and kind of causes the crystals to slightly shift in direction to force the air through a different direction. It's not great, Rollman. You can definitely tell that he's distracted, but after a few minutes of listening, you've got enough of an idea that you know you can fly this without crashing it, and you could probably, if you have to, violently land this. It ain't gonna be pretty, but you know you'll survive.
Did he calm down a little bit too,
or? He seems to slightly focus, but he's still spiraling extremely as you look over at him.
When he's not looking at me, I will motion for Essa or James to grab the body and put it somewhere not.
I'm gonna go move the body below deck.
Okay. Let me pull up the weight for a frost giant.
I was to say, like, all giants are at least like 3,000 pounds.
I'm gonna wave down a crew member to help me. I am small.
James walks up, picks up a foot, realizes the kid barely manages to pick up one foot with both arms, just looks at it and goes,
I'm carrying the head.
Yeah, shakes his head and starts kind of calling for a couple of the crew members who come over, helping out. As you kind of pick up the cut off head, it's still a 500-pound. This is not a light, like, this is a heavy head. You pick it up, you're gonna be struggling. Give me a strength check with it. See if you can, how far you can get with it, or how long it takes you to get below deck.
Good thing this is only a +2.
Oh.
As you sit there struggling with the head, two of the crew members take the body down below. One of the cook comes up and looks at you and kind of grabs the head with one hand and kind of literally picking you up with still holding onto the head, starts walking it down below deck. while you're still holding on to it. And you see as the two...
I'm gonna look at him in giant saying, thank you.
He kind of smiles as he continues, just kind of lightly kind of like swinging you back and forth while you're holding on to the head. While he's also pulling, like handling it like it's a ball. The two frost giants carrying the body head down. As you start to catch them, James, you see them wrapping up the body in the tarp, watching as the blood spills out onto the runes and starts to just kind of dilute the ink of the magic.
Fine. We weren't gonna be able to use it again at this point, anyways. I could have restored it, but that plan went out the window the moment they sped up.
Yeah, as you kind of bring the chef kind of sets you and the head down in the blanket, and then like kind of pulls you off the like kind of like nudges you off the head.
I just backed off the head immediately once I'm touching the ground again.
Yeah, they wrap it up and then kind of set it off to the side in one of the
I'm gonna look
dark.
at the cook actually and go, what comfort food does Bjorn usually get? Something that he would try to keep quiet. If you can know it, go get some for him. I think he'll need it.
He nods and goes. The chef kind of nods, thinking for a moment, and you see him kind of like with almost like a light bulb in his eyes. Comes back a few minutes later and pulls out. I need a fortitude save from James for the smell of this. But as he pulls out what is pickled sweet fish heads in a big barrel that are floating.
You know what?
As he cracks it open, the smell is pungent and nasty, James. It is raw smelling, it is old, and it is fermenting.
That's a
And
21.
somehow this starts to there's enough dwarven culture out there to remind you of your hometown with that smell for a moment at the
Failed.
yeah, and the poor taverns where something like this would be served for those who are desperate to eat. The smell doesn't seem to bother you.
Not my first choice, but if he likes it, he likes it.
The chef kind of smiles, and as much of the crew continues working, Bjorn kind of eventually finding himself heading down towards the kitchen, disappearing, leaving Rollerman in charge on the upper deck. You lot continue your way. What's up?
For the last 15 days, I'll perform work as medical for the ship while I'm working on negotiating.
Yeah.
Negotiator. Just ran it up.
Real quick. Rollerman, yes, you said you were going to set up what?
A feast with the crew.
Alright, so yes, as you take over the helm, kind of giving orders, Essa and James kind of taking a minute. James heading down with the body. Essa, what would you be doing while Rollerman's kind of getting out the orders, getting the chef kind of explaining what's going to be happening?
I would say, in general, I feel like on a show like this, no one wants to be the guy that has to deal with the animals, and I feel like with low morale, it'd be better if that was dealt with, so I'll take over the animal job entirely, like for the rest of the journey, back and forth.
Yeah, roll me an animal handling and a fortitude save real quick, just for the rest of the trip.
Yep.
See how well it goes.
Let's see, handle animal, that's a 20, not a nat, it's a 10 plus 10.
Okay.
Fortitude save, I believe is up here for mobile.
I don't know, mobile.
That's a 17.
While the smell would normally bother most people, the sudden sound and roaring of a dragon definitely caused many of the animals to unfortunately defecate upon themselves in fear. You do spend most of the rest of the time working on cleaning that up, but thankfully, due to the fact of your experience in nature and around animals on a constant at this point, the smell doesn't faze you in the slightest. It's another day. You just try to make sure the creatures don't, none of the beasts end up doing anything. Yeah, you just try to make sure all the beasts are taken care of, cleaned up, and you make a few friends with two cyclone, were they buffalo or bulls I put down? Let me look. I can never remember. Let me pull it up real quick. Oops. God, okay, if I can put one thing out there ever, it's going to be that they need to fix the damn Google Sheets, because it's so bad. Okay, here's what it's called. I think I sent it to you. It's a cyclone tail bull, or bison. As you have two of these creatures seem to be in the stalls next to BK as cargo, basically. And in case you don't have that set up, that's what it basically is, so you can read that. For those who are listening in, the bulls are basically a large bison that seem to have tails that naturally allow them to fly when they're young. They spin like a cyclone, basically. These creatures are magical. They are able to walk on top of the clouds. However, as they reach adulthood, they can no longer fly, and thus it's very common for travelers in random areas where a lot of clouds can be found to find cyclone tail bison adults falling out of the sky onto people. Because they are very dumb creatures that don't realize that they can't fly anymore, and will just try to jump or fly across from different clouds. Yeah. So, as far as it goes, price tag wise, you wouldn't know roughly. Essa, you've never seen these kinds of creatures before, only heard about them in books and such.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so as a feast is prepared, James kind of helping get the body wrapped up, working down below for the time at the time. Rolliman giving his orders, getting everything out. The night goes on. A feast is brought out on the top deck as you all are still over the ocean. And a fun and hearty night is had as the crew seems to be in good spirits. Bjorn, who seems to have kind of sheltered himself off to the captain's quarters, not really coming out except for food and to get get a drink or something. He seems to be very quiet and hesitant towards the rest of you every time he comes out, and just goes back into the cabin immediately upon whatever he was trying to do.
As it goes on, I'd like to do a speech to the crew.
Yeah. What do you drinks?
Or a toast, rather.
Yeah, you smack your glass of or your wooden thing of ale onto the table, and the crew immediately goes quiet. James Esses kind of sitting on the sides of you. Everyone's kind of listening and waiting.
Gents, today you have all done what not many have. You have all danced with death and managed to come out the other side. Maybe not all on the other side, but harder, stronger. Look at our cook. He managed to smack an elemental with a frying pan. That is memorable. I'd give him the name... I forgot what I was going to say. Nickname of, Windbreaker.
The chef just looks up at you and smiles the biggest smile.
And Bjorn managing to not falter during the madness and guiding us out of these lands into safety above the ocean. I give a toast to all of you for managing to survive.
Roll diplomacy.
Do I still have the +3 from my nickname?
Oh, yeah. There's also another bonus, but I'll calculate that in, so don't worry.
Well, again, that's the same one I got last time.
So with a 20, you hear as the crew kind of raising their glasses, start cheering, laughing, and getting all really excited, clapping and everything. The speech seems to go across to them, quite clearly raising morale. Essa and James, you feel yourselves kind of slightly, a little bit more confident in the situation given what's happened, and thinking back on it and looking at the confidence of what you managed to accomplish today really doesn't step away. You just avoided both a storm giant raid. You lived through a storm giant raid, which even in your travels would be unheard of for most people to even dream of seeing, let alone living through one. And on top of that, not only that, but also dealing with a dragon lord that you just managed to survive a death threat from. The moment kind of clears of the accomplishments you've all achieved this day as Rolliman finishes off his speech, and the crew starts giving a round of applause, many of them smacking James and Essa and Rolliman on the back, kind of going up and talking and handing them off food and drinks.
I get launched into the cabin.
Yeah, getting cheered and smiled upon, or smiled at by all the crew. They seem to really be excited. All at the end, they start chanting the Ironheart Merchant Company as they start drinking heavily.
I'm going to give a whisper to him to also toast the one that fell.
Who are you whispering this to, James?
I'm gonna whisper that to our dear charismatic Rollerman, as I'm going to afterwards slink off and go check on Bjorn.
Oh, okay. I would add that at the end of the speech then.
Yeah, as you do, many of them still excitingly proud, cheering and drinking, telling stories of Lorolf's great adventures and like deals he's accomplished of some of the trade missions he had gone through, passing on like happy memories and tales from all the years they've spent with him. You all get a really good, lively tale. James kind of slinking off to go to the to see if he can find Bjorn, who seemed to have disappeared from the captain's quarters. Essa, what are you? You're still. I mean, you're up here drinking. Are you wanting to stay with the group, or are you going to also slink off?
I'll stick and drink. It doesn't hurt to fucking. We're finally building some reputation for the merchant company. It wouldn't look great if multiple of us slink off when everyone's excited.
I'm going to slink off to try and find somebody specific.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to slink off stealthily. I'm like
just
anyone
walk.
who asks, I'm going to go check on Bjorn.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of head back down, James, Essa kind of watching the people, giant, and kind of still eyeing the sky, looking for the Dragon Lord, a little paranoid that he may still come back for a moment. Rollman kind of congratulating, enjoying the crew, handing out, pouring drinks for the crew, getting his drink poured from them, trying to bond with them. James, you head down below to the middle deck. Where you kind of hear the slight rustling and sounds of tapping for a moment, and then the sudden clatter of some wood on wood, and then silence from in the middle cabin.
I'm just gonna go take a quiet peek.
Yeah, as you walk over to the door, the wooden door, it seems to be locked as you try to put a little pressure on it to push it in.
I thought this would
Do
happen.
not tell me he fucking hung himself.
I thought this would happen.
Can I try and open the... I'm small.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Can I
mat.
try and open the lock with any of my tools?
Do you have a lockpicking kit? Which is actually
No,
a
I
thing.
do not.
Because you need a kit specifically for it. There's toolkits for lockpicking in 3.5. So if you can, I'll let you roll for it, but it'll be basically what would be a disadvantage for 5e. So you'd be rolling at a -5 because you're not using a proper toolkit for this.
That's fine. I have my old smithing tools that if they break, I'm not as worried about them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me a d20 with your modifier -5.
Wouldn't it be roughly like a -2? Because flanking was advantage, but you only get a +2 for that.
Yeah, but the perspective is he's trying to pick a lock that is not only huge, he has no lock picking experience, and he's using a kit that has nothing to do with lock picking.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
Metalwork
It's a
then?
compounded.
No, this would be the same as if you were using your smithing roll. So whatever your craft is for your smithing kit.
That would fall under metalworking then, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you'd use this kit for is what you'd roll for. And you can just do your normal roll, and I can just minus the 5 to it. No issues either way. So that's a 1d20 plus 6 minus 5, so that'll be 17 minus 5 is 12. You start picking at the lock. It's pretty large as you kind of find yourself a chair to come bring over to the door, and climbing up on top of it, propping yourself up. You leaning in, looking into the lock. The lock's big enough to where you can see pretty clearly through it, James. You can definitely see a dangling body on the other side of this.
I'm going... If I'm seeing that, I may just throw away and say, "Help down here now! Bump the door down, quick!"
You're just gonna go try and rush upstairs?
Yeah, get someone to help.
Okay. As you go running up,
Random. Who does he get?
as you start rushing up, a lot of the crew is boisterous, drinking and happy, like laughing and enjoyment. They don't seem to hear you as you come rushing up, James, trying to shout from down below. As you finally make it up on top of the deck, that's when they start to notice you speaking, as many of them turn to you.
Help breaking down the door. I think Bjorn tried to off himself.
The
Not
crew-
even holding back. I'm being blunt again.
The crew just kind of looks at you with complete confusion.
One of you, now! Come on!
I tell him, continue. I'll go deal with it.
They all kind of like look at Rollman, and you can you all can definitely tell they look at you as if you're trying to make some weird joke, like this is something that like they just don't understand from your culture or something like that. And they kind of hear a couple of nervous laughters as they kind of pick up their drinks and go back to drinking.
It seems our dear friend James might have drank a bit much.
The cook kind of looking over, catching on Rollman, kind of gives you a wink and looks over at Essa and goes, Essa, why don't you tell us some story or something of where you grew up? As he kind of starts playing a little bit of light music on a couple of his pans. He starts banging on it to give you a small little beat.
Essa will give a more generalist story of her time training in the lands of Greg's Marathon as a soldier and what that's like, because it's very her specific training, because it was for the Jaguar Knights, is very different. More primal training than normal.
Do you have perform oratory by chance?
I do not. I just have a very high charisma.
Yeah, then let's just do a perform general then. So charisma basically, yeah.
22. 18 plus.
Yeah, as you start to give this speech, or start telling this story, a lot of the giants seem very fast sucked into the story at the concept of, like, violence and training in a different way. A couple of them asking you for, like, how the movements you're doing to demonstrate and trying to very clumsily copy after you. Many of them seem to get really into the story as you go, as you see James and Rollman kind of head down below deck.
What is it you said again, James?
I'm taking Rollman to the door. Break it down, he's hanging.
I raise my eyebrow, but then I'll try the door first, see it's locked, and then I'll go ahead and can I rush the door?
Technically, yes, it does have an AC, and it does, so it can't. That's just can't get. It doesn't have an opportunity attack against you.
Minotaur rush the door.
Okay. So I believe that's a strength against its AC in this situation, since it's an object. Oh no, it does have an actual strength. I forgot that. Let me pull it up in 3.5 because I can't remember what Wood's strength was. It's an actual thing though.
It's not very high.
No, I know it's not. I know it's like a 10 because it's got like the lowest. Here it is. Oh, sorry, it's got a hardness of 5.
I think 11 is
Yeah, you go kind of backing up a bit to get a little bit of a running start. You charge into it with ease, Rollman. It's going right through the door. It slams against the hinges hard, and as you come on the other side, you see, yeah, there's a hanging body there.
Is it? I'm gonna rush up and is he dead?
You can give me a heal check to see.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
I'll go ahead and cut him down.
Okay.
Yeah, get him down as I'm prepping to do heal check.
Make an attack because rope does also have.
Rope.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
My heal check will be a 22 once he gets him down.
Okay. Well, you're. Oh, good. I was gonna ask if you were gonna wait till you got it down or not. If you were just gonna go for it. Okay.
Oh hell no.
Okay, 18, yeah, Rollman easily managing to cut the thing down. You all, or you kind of set the body down straight, and what was your, roll, James? 22?
22.
You look at as you kind of start looking over the body, yeah, you see his, neck has a couple purple bruising marks all around it, and he's not breathing. You kind of quickly tell that he snapped his spine.
Roman, can you help me drag him into somewhere? Or we're closing the door and not letting anyone come in.
What do I know
Those are our options.
giant culture in terms of suicide?
You wouldn't. There's I mean, like, there's not even a rule for it. This is almost completely considered unprecedented. This, cause the basic of information you would know from your backstory and experience is that giants have a very strong belief in dying in battle or dying of old age. The concept has never even been explored at this. So.
No, not an honorable death by the giant standards. They're not going to take well to this.
No, that's why we're going
We'll bring it up tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get him out of this room, though. That way no one's wondering why it's suddenly locked again.
How are you gonna move him?
Where do you want to move him to? What room is this, by the way?
One of the middle cabin rooms in the middle of the or in the middle floor of the ship.
Is the door like fucked? Like there's no it can't be.
I mean, it's a wood door. The hinges are still good. You just have to basically reattach the hinges. I mean, you busted the door pretty good. It's definitely slightly dented in, but it's not enough to where someone couldn't sleep in here if they needed to.
Do I know whose room this is, or is it like there's no assigned rooms?
They're not assigned. There's just bunk rooms for people to sleep. Captain's quarters is the only one that's assigned.
All right. I'll just we leave them in here. It's probably best. We won't be able to move them. They're very heavy.
That's true. We'll lock the door off with the chair.
Do you think you can reset the door?
You'll have to help me. I can't lift the damn thing. I look at it and I look at me. I'm about a third of its fucking height.
All right. Do I know if there's a key for the door, by the way?
Yeah. There's clearly one laying on the bed that in the room where
I'll grab the key. That key.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, picking it up, taking it back out. The hinges, as you kind of close the door, it's definitely still sits in the door frame, but it's as you look at the hinges, if you lock this thing, like it's gonna fall. It could fall over pretty easily.
Well, our intent is to put it back.
Yeah.
In the hinges, and then we're going to lock it.
Okay. All right. So James, I'm going to need a metalworking roll and roll him in. Since you're going to be holding James, I assume to help him get up to the thing.
I'm holding the door, I assume, in place.
Oh, you're going to hold the door instead of okay.
I mean, he can get a stool if he needs to get up high, my guy.
I'm
sure there's stools on the ship.
There. Yeah, that's I was making sure. Okay, go ahead and give me a strength check just to see how or let's do a concentration check just to.
Concentration?
Yeah, just to keep holding the door up. Just kind of like focusing on the door, as you're maintaining it. If he rolls high enough, James, it'll make up for it. Don't worry. A 7, Jesus.
I also got a 7.
Nice guy.
All right, Essa, I need you to roll me another perform so that the giants upstairs don't hear the racket coming down from downstairs.
Oh, good. Let's see. 20, 16 plus 4.
All right, yeah, you managed to keeping the story going as you hear the slamming and the obvious noises. The crew starts to kind of get distracted, and you go, but, and then there was a time that I went onto this battlefield in the middle of the jungle fighting this creature and start going off on a different tangent. Crew King right back into the story, very interested once more.
When I hear the banging, I hit up the bang with my quarterstaff like soldiers posing a spear.
Yeah. I got you trying to cover it up. Okay.
Exactly.
James and roll him in. Yeah, go give me another roll.
Turns out S is good at distracting people. This is great.
God.
There we fucking go.
We did it this time.
The shock of it all. The 2 people that James had to talk to on the ship. Fucking gone.
God damn. 24 and 20. Oh, yeah. After the first time you kind of like, as it kind of jars and the door doesn't really hold the metalwork, as you're like smacking at it, it's like every time Rolleman's shaking. Roman starts to kind of used to the movement, grabbing hold of the door, really bracing. James, you start hammering at the thing again and manage to get the sound of the clashing in, or the hinges in perfectly. Just as Essa's story above stops and you hear the quarterstaff stop bouncing off the fucking deck. The door seems to lock almost immediately with ease, Roman, as you pocket the key, I assumedly.
Alright. Now, James, we need to make a story. Would you be willing for me to hit you on the head? That way it looks like you rammed into this door when you're really drunk.
I'm just gonna go to bed and you can tell that story to all of them.
Alright. Sounds good.
Alright, James kind of heading into one of the side cabins for the guests who do pay for their rides. They're a little nicer, a lot of them are either individual or have like a couple beds set up for like traveling groups. You lot having your own like single cabin between the 3 of you, each having a separate bed. James kind of heads off to the room, shutting it and locking it up, heading into the bed for the night, without really any issue. Roland, as you head back up, Essa is just finishing her story as the crew seems to look on and seems to like start clapping as Essa kind of like wraps up the performance.
Damn, did I miss a good story?
Oh yeah, I was telling about my time training in the jungles.
You have to tell me about that sometime.
Of course. As I kind of give him a nod as if I did my absolute best to keep these people distracted.
Oh, you all should have seen it. James was tumbling all over the place. He rammed his head into a door. Could you believe it? And I start laughing.
The crew, in such a jovial mood, doesn't seem to take any sense to it. It seems to laugh along with you. Many of them making jokes at James's expense about his height.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
I will accept them graciously. They've lost 2 very two people they care about very dearly, but we may have gained an airship.
Yeah, as the night goes on, jokes and laughter are had as you lot slowly return to your cabins. Many of the crew kind of confused why the one middle cabin is locked, but kind of ignoring it and just heading to another room, finding a table to pass out on top of. Night goes on. The half of the crew works the night movements. Seems to kind of go up the stairs and not realizing what had really happened throughout the day, seems to come on and start working the ship again. You all kind of retire to your rooms, I assume, for the night, unless anybody wants to do anything in the night that they want to make note of.
Yeah, it's
The only thing.
Okay.
No, I'll wait till morning because I'm assuming the cook. I can wake up and talk to the cook about it because he seemed to have. He seems to be the next head person, basically.
Yeah, is the cook next head person, or who's after the first mate?
You don't know. You've got no experience with ships of skyships or frost giant culture. This is something that's kind of new to you lot as far as it goes.
He seems like the next most trustworthy generally.
I will say, Rolman, with your experience so far, you would have noted without anything that he has been the most conversive and most decisive amongst the group, giving orders just as easily, giving you a sense that he could be their third in command, or he's used to commanding at the very least.
Okay. What was you gonna do, James?
In the morning, I'm gonna go in and help make breakfast, basically, just peeling or doing whatever he tells me, and inform him of Bjorn's.
Oh, okay. So before that, because this is during the night,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm the only one that can fly the ship now, I'd look for the cook.
Yeah.
Do you know how to fly?
As you kind of find him late into the night in the little kitchenette that he's got set up, he kind of turns to you as he's getting the breakfast stuff set up for the next morning and smiles and goes, "I may or I may not. What is it to you?"
I need someone to help me with the flying it during the night.
As you kind of get a
What was
good
his
look
name?
at the chef now, looking him up and down, you can definitely tell this is a much older frost giant compared to the rest of this crew. He looks a little more grizzled. His beard very kind of like disheveled, little food bits sticking out of it. Much of his teeth looking like it's rotted away. One of his eyes slightly looks like it's clouding over, and he's definitely very hunched for when he walks around. But you've never gotten the chef's name.
Windbreaker, do you mind if I get your name?
He looks at you and goes, "My name hasn't mattered in years. Just call me Windbreaker." As he kind of gives you a wry smile, and suddenly you can smell something on the air. It's not very. It's very unpleasant as it starts to kind of fill the room.
Okay. Do I know where it's coming from?
You know what? Give me a spot check, or a search check.
No, we've had great luck.
He's found
with these
a
so
barrel of a sweet pickled fish head.
Oh no.
Eight.
8. It takes a minute. And you think, and you see the smile on the face of this the chef as he mentions this, and it clicks into you what Windbreaker also means.
I a nice chuckle.
He looks at you with a wry smile, like any ornery old man would, and looks. He goes,
Even more worthy.
I can fly you, but you're gonna want to watch the skies for that Stormwalker fella. He'll be back if he's alive. He likes you too much, and what he likes, he takes." As he kind of comes walking around the corner, and as you finally notice that for the first time that he has a very large, wooden peg leg on his right leg.
Do you know why he left me alive?
Yeah, same reason he left me alive all those hundreds of years ago. He wants to show that he can kill you once you're strong enough to fight back. Yeah, you gained respect from him because you tried. Most people wouldn't have been that dumb. Most people would have ran away from the reputation he has. You know, last ship they found that he had taken out, he gutted and cut up every single crew member personally.
It was a gambit when I saw it at the time.
The fact that you managed to even move him, I'm shocked about that. I couldn't do it at my prime.
You honor me. Thank you.
He kind of smiles and goes, "Yes, one day you'll see him again, you and your lot, but you've got time. He won't be back for a while. I'm guessing if the Dragon Lord's chasing him, he'll probably leave the continent for a good while."
Do you mind taking the wheel after I tire out at the wheel?
"I don't sleep these days," so he kind of nods and goes, "I don't mind a quiet night sky," as he kind of like cracks his back and kind of starts to walk or head towards the stairs.
All right.
He heads up and you see as he kind of follows up towards the helm and starts working it pretty comfortably, almost as if a second nature. As you watch, he's clearly a lot more experienced with flying these things than you are.
As the most wise frost giant here, I must inform you that the first mate he has hung himself during the feast.
No, he didn't.
No.
No, he didn't.
Eyebrow raise.
He looks at you and goes. He just shakes his head and he goes, "There's no way he could have."
How so?
Well, because I watched him fall off the side of the ship when the Dragon Lord appeared.
Then who was the one with his face then?
I didn't see anybody. I was wondering why the crew kept mentioning they were seeing him and talking about him being depressed. I thought they meant earlier.
No. Me and the reason James came up earlier was
Yeah.
someone hid themselves in that room. We went in there and saw that. Well, if what you say is true, someone appearing to be him had hung himself.
No, unless someone set the body there. That means someone caught the body from the below deck, which would be impossible because the deck's sealed, but yeah, who knows? Probably someone on the ship that can use magic more than we can.
Or the same person who put that egg on here.
You know, I was wondering about that egg, and the fact that the Dragon Lord didn't take it, that's kinda... You don't think that Bjorn had the egg on him when he fell over, do you?
Potentially, but why would he do that? Do you think he was the traitor among the crew?
No, I think if the traders here, they're still on the ship. As he kind of looks around at some of the crew who's like working some of the light sails and such.
Keep an eye out. Let me know what you see.
He kind of nods. As he continues to fly the ship, watching you go down below deck, I assume.
As he does that, I'll still having the key. When no one's watching, I'll go into the room with the body.
Okay. Yeah. Heading down while Essa and James are still in their room, kind of napping. God damn it, Essa. As you come down to the main little quarters. Most of the crew's out cold. Some passed out drunk. Some passed out in their rooms. You find as you go to the middle room, unlocking it, looking inside. There's no body there.
I just sigh and rub my face down my hand down my face in exhaustion. And I'll search the room for any signs of what could have happened or how a body could have placed or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a search check to see what you get.
Hey, that's
Damn.
good.
Yeah, so as you look about, you find the bed where you guys had laid down the body. Well, laid down is a loose term. You let the body kind of fall, and you just kind of guide it that direction when you originally cut it down, due to the immense weight of this creature. As you did so, though, you did note the blood from there was a slight bit of blood from from Bjorn's around Bjorn's neck. that seem to just be like from a rub on the from the rope, basically cutting into the skin. You find that the little bits of blood seem to kind of look like it's been pulled to the bottom of the bed, like a slight sliding effect as you look at the bed and seeing the massive imprint. Look, your best guess, someone took the body and drug it out of here.
Out of the room.
Yeah.
Does the trail of blood continue or no?
Looking about on the floor and following it out into the main room, yeah, you are able to follow it all the way down to the lowest deck as you go down to the bottom where the animals are.
Before I continue, I'm going to wake up Essa.
Okay.
I'll let James sleep, but this is more of a job for Essa.
This is my specialty, baby.
Yeah, coming into the room, James kind of snoring off to the side, saying a prayer slightly as he's kind of like dreams. You hear him murmur something about, "I'm not short and I will kill you for that," as he kind of rolls over, punching a pillow and smiling. You walk over to Essa. Are you just going to be like tapping on the shoulder and shaking her awake, or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Essa, you start to feel a slight shake at your shoulder as you suddenly can feel a shadow kind of over you, seeing as you look around, seeing Roland kind of standing over you, looking down on you.
I'll signal for him to follow me.
Her.
Her. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'll nod. I'm gonna grab I'm assuming this is important, so I'm gonna grab on reflex my bow, my quiver, and my little poison flask. That should be all I need.
Okay. Yeah, grabbing your stuff and kind of quietly leaving the room with Roland, you two head out to the main room.
I'll give a quick synopsis of what transpired.
Okay. Yeah, as you explain everything to Essa, you kind of pick up a few things from that, but some kind of sticks to you a little weird that the only way they would have gotten that the body out with that much size and loudness from the just dragging it, you would have had to have heard it being that close from your room. There's no way you would have slept through something like that.
That's okay.
Potentially, this trail could be a trap.
It's almost certainly a trap. I could try to sneak down. I probably have better odds of making it without being noticed than you do.
I don't like it, but all right.
Gotta take risks. This is what I was hired for.
All right. Go ahead and roll a hide check and move silently.
Bonus would have been sitting on the bed. It would have been one of the broken gems.
Nat 20
Yeah.
silently for a 27.
Okay. 27.
There you go.
Hides a 19. 12
19.
plus 4 plus 3.
Okay. Yeah, as you kind of find yourself going down the stairs slowly, avoiding some of the creaking ones you had heard earlier when you had been going up and down helping the animals, you take a minute and quietly, slowly finding your pace down these stairs. You come to the the bottom of the ship, seeing BK curled up and asleep. The two bison kind of slightly leaning up against each other, sleeping. You look about. There's a couple of cages that were empty, and you knew there were a dark room in the front of the ship that seemed to have been blocked off by some sort of magical barrier that you couldn't seem to break through or even see through. As you continue to kind of look about, give me a search check.
Keep the good rolls going. Keep the good rolls going. Keep the good rolls going. 18.
18. As you start to kind of continue following the blood trail from that Rollerman had pointed out earlier, you slowly walking your way around, you notice that the body was dragged first towards BK. It looks like it was laid in the hay next to BK, as you find little spicks of blood little bits of hair and a very obvious imprint in the hay from the giant body. Although it looks like it was only laid there for a few moments before it was pulled even further, deeper into the ship, as it looked like someone was kind of like trying to throw things onto the creature, onto the giant, or the dead body of the giant, to hide it. You see, continue to been dragged back to the front of the ship where that barrier was from earlier. As you follow closer and closer, you don't see anybody down here. But there's no body either. As you get right up to the barrier, you can see the trail ends there and looks like it went inside.
And this barrier is just in general? Is it there on purpose? Like, it's supposed to be on the ship? Did someone put it here? Do I know?
You've seen some of the crew come down here and like look at it, and not be phased by it. So you'd assume that they know what's going on.
Have I seen anyone in? Because I was down here a lot.
Yeah, you're down
over
there
the
most of the time.
Have I seen who's gone into the barrier at all?
No one's gone into the barrier. No one's even gone near the barrier. They just seem to not acknowledge it, look at it, and a couple of comments on the fact to not go too close to it and leave it alone. That was pretty much the whole thing.
Not go too close to it. Leave it alone.
It sounded a whole lot like it's not our problem.
Can I do a tracking to see if I can figure out if it was just one person dragging the body or multiple?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think that's survival for that, so.
Yeah, survival is the, yeah. 16.
As you're looking it up and down, you do notice that it's only one pair of footprints that you, or well, not a pair of footprints rather, but only a set of what looks to be two bodies were moving down here specifically together. The body that was being drugged and another pair of footprints that you're seeing that look to be pulling it. Your guesstimation looking at it is that there was only one other person involved. Looking at the footprint though, what catches your attention pretty clearly is it's small. It's very small compared to a frost giant. As a lot of the ground down on the bottom of the ship is a lot of mud, a little bit of mix of manure, some hay, so it's a little easier to get a fresher print compared to the upper areas where it's a wooden deck. You definitely notice that some of the feet are very tiny on the footprints, and they seem to get smaller the closer they get to that barrier.
I'm going to make two things that I'm going to say, just in general to you, DM, just as a question.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm assuming none of the frost giants I've seen, even the smaller ones I saw, were this small, like for feet-wise.
No, these would be James-sized, like, footprints. Yeah.
Second question, do they look like they're Sisormix-sized?
Like as in what the frost giant that you saw earlier, or are you talking like his actual dragon form that you've seen or heard of?
Either. 'Cause I saw both.
It's not draconic. The footprints, you pick up that pretty quickly. It's still definitely humanoid of some sort. And they look to be too small to have been from the frost giant that Sisormax disguised himself as earlier.
I know a lot of humanoids in this era are very distinct, like in everything. Do I see where there would be claw points on the end of the feet? Do I see any distinct shaping?
They are in a boot, so it's very hard to tell. They are small, and the boots are thin, like not very wide, but very kind of slightly longer. You do notice, in particular, something that catches your attention the closer you look, is that the boots don't look to be humanoid like James is. You've seen James walk enough and Roman walk enough to know that they basically, humanoids have a set back to their foot, their ankle basically. This looks like it has something that extends further back, like a toe or like something, or the foot's longer and not straight down like a humanoid would be. Almost kind of like bird-like or like lizard-like, if you will.
Bird-like? I don't think. Do kobold feet have like a back thing that?
No. No, you'd be considered humanoid at that for that category.
So either we're dealing with an Aarakocra, which I doubt, because that would be like claw points for feet.
It'd be hard for them to wear shoes in general.
Yeah, they wouldn't wear shoes. They can't. Not normal shoes. I'm gonna sneak back to Rollerman.
Okay.
I'm not risking career.
Yeah, kind of turning around, kind of catching note of everything. You head back up and finding Rollerman, kind of sword right at the ready, right at the top of the stairs, just in case of you shouting for any help. He looks at you as you come up, ready to fight.
I'll give him the whole rundown in that it doesn't seem as much we have a traitor, unless there's Kenzo as a frost giant, as it does we have a castaway messing with us on the ship. That is sneaking into the barrier that all the frost giants seem to say not to mess
You mean
with.
a
All
stowaway?
Yeah, stowaway is.
You know what, Cameron? You know what? Shut up.
I'm
That was unnecessary.
sorry.
All right.
And I still say she didn't mess with the barrier out of fear if she didn't know what it does.
Okay.
So from what we can gather, I assume this person has stolen this egg and is using this ship to illegally bring it to where they want, which is assuming they knew the trajectory of this ship, they want it in the Frost Giant lands. I have no reason to know why, but
I didn't see the footprints leave, so unless they somehow warped somewhere, they should still be in the barrier area.
I'm going to go talk with the cook to see if he knows of that. He is the oldest Frost Giant. He might have some wisdom.
Do you want me to hide among the pens and stake out the barrier?
Do you think you'll be fine by yourself, or do you want like James to be ready? Because I'll be.
I'm confident in my ability to get away if something happens.
If you're confident.
All right.
I'm gonna talk to the cook again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hide in.
Go ahead, Essa.
I'm gonna hide in the pen of one of the cyclone bison that I befriended.
Okay.
And watch the bear.
Yeah, go ahead and roll hide down for it. Yeah.
Tell the bison to hide you.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hide in the floof.
Be one with the floof.
20. 13 plus 4 plus 3.
Okay. Yeah, you go heading back down, avoiding a lot of the squeakier boards. You go in and hearing the two cyclone-tailed bison kind of slightly mooing as they're sleeping, kind of making some slight noise. Use that to your advantage and kind of find yourselves into their pen quietly, just sticking your head out and watching. No, that's a Jeremy. That is bison are a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, for the floor. Yeah, definitely. But yeah. Essa, as you kind of start watching, we'll come back to you in a moment. Rollerman, as you head up, kind of finding the cook up there once more, he seems to be kind of leaning on the helm, kind of slightly half asleep, as his eyes are like slowly closing in and out as he kind of keeps waking himself up and watching.
So, me and my associates did some investigating off of what you said, and it led us to this strange barrier near in the animal area. And from their time down there, they said that the frost giants usually avoid it, but never say what it is or what it's for. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, we have a he's not a merchant. He's a scholar traveling with us.
How are we not made aware of this?
Because you're a customer, not someone that we were hired for. You're just kind of getting a ride, being ferried across. That you weren't the one who actually paid for this entire ship in this expedition.
That's fair. Are they part of the ship, or are they also doing this for travel?
He's not a crew member, but he's technically welcomed by the Regan Utham at his kingdom. Mostly because he has pretty much a diplomatic immunity anywhere he wants to go, due to his connection with the collective.
Do you know of what race he belongs to?
He says he's a snow dwarf, but the little bastard looks like the ugliest snow dwarf I've ever seen.
Could you describe him?
Dark hair, tan skin, makes no sense that he's a snow dwarf. I'd say his mother's probably a hill giant. Shorter than James. Real mouthy one. He likes to talk a lot, knows his stuff.
God damn it, DM.
Does that ring a bell?
No, Roman, no, not in the slightest.
Well, I'm muting. I know what this is.
He might be partially responsible or harboring this fugitive or stowaway or whatever that has been causing so much unease among the ship. Is it wise to enter that barrier or not?
I mean, if you want to fall asleep because he'll talk your ear off about things that haven't happened yet, he tells you about, here's his favorite story he likes to tell. He keeps talking about these people in the far future that are going to be some 12 lords that are going to right everything that was wrong with the world. Something about the world splitting because the dragons and giants get no war. You imagine all the dragon kingdoms and the giants, all of them getting into one big war. That's impossible. That's war on a scale that we have never seen. We never will. As he kind of sighs. He's crazy as all hell, but his coin is worth a lot, so we don't really question it. Man knows his minerals, and he's made us a lot of money. But we took him all the way from what was that Asamar's name's place? Og something. We were all the way up in the north, took him up there. We spent like a month there, came down to Dragon's Crown to do some business, and he spent his time scholaring about... He did not steal that dragon egg, did he?
Potentially he did.
God fucking damn it. You see the annoyance in the old giant's eyes, and he goes, I wouldn't put him past him to have taken it, as he kind of sighs.
Do you know why? What was your heading after the Frost Giant Lands? Was that the final destination?
I know Bjorn mentioned something about heading off to the collective city, but I mean, I don't know if that was we were gonna actually take the gentleman there or if we were gonna split ways. I know he wants to meet with Regan Utham to discuss something.
Either he wants to drop it off in the Frost Giant Lands, or he wants to take it to the collective. Do you know if the Frost Giants would want that?
He kind of shrugs and goes,
Frost Giant.
I mean, Regan's gonna want him for research. He knows his stuff. He knows more about monsters than anybody else. He's creepy. I'm gonna be honest. He probably fit right in. I'm not one of them weird flesh warping types. You know, I don't understand how all that works, but he
Flesh
seems
warping?
to.
I'm not. Do I know flesh warping? Probably not. But...
No. I'm not even gonna have you roll for it. It's not even a thing that's known like well known. Outside most frost giants, outside of the frost giants, it's not a very well known fact of what Utham can actually do.
What is that?
And I don't know the exact science behind it, right? But my cousin works as a guard for him, and he told me basically what he does. He picks up a monster after he kills it, right? And then he tells it that it's going to become a weapon, and then it turns into a weapon. That's really it. I don't know what kind of magic it is, but it's scary, and I tell you, I don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
That is some powerful sorcery, if that is to be true.
I've seen him do it. He did it twice.
Right then. I'm gonna go confront him. If I don't come back, he probably killed me.
Hey, your gold's ours either way at that point, I guess. You know, you already paid for the trip, so, you know, I'll let your compatriots, I'll let them know you're dead and they can have your goods. As he kind of smiles at you, watching you head back down. Yeah, Rollman, as you head down, James still kind of snoring lightly in his room, enjoying a long rest.
Well, he said snow dwarf, so now I will wake James because maybe he knows something about a snow dwarf.
All right, yeah. Heading in, you wake up, you kind of start budging James. James, you're having a very pleasant dream of beating up a storm giant single-handedly after he called you short, and watching as he just you reveled in the enjoyment of making him shorter than you as you took out his knees.
Storm giant. Yeah, I have to take out part of the spine too. He's losing everything below the waist.
But yeah, as you wake up from this pleasant dream, you see Rollman. It's still dark as all hell in the room. Definitely not sun
I
up.
just blink at him slowly. Yes.
I will explain the entire thing that's transpiring, and then I'll ask him.
Description sound familiar.
Yes.
Roll. Well, actually, no. You know for a fact that this description that's not a snow dwarf. You've never heard of any clan that would look like that.
That's not a fucking snow dwarf. The closest one to that is a very angry fucking guy that counts to the clan on his own. And if he's here, we're all dead anyways.
What now? Who?
I doubt... Because I'm guessing in this age, Alfred Stone has red hair, correct?
Yeah, he'd be a ginger.
Yeah. The only dwarf that even has a different color hair that's still technically a snow dwarf is Alfred Stone. And that's only because he says he is, and no one's arguing with him. The man counts as a clan on his own.
Do I know that after he said the name? Do I know anything or no?
You would know. Hearing Alfred Stone, I mean, that's a very famous warrior, very well-known warrior who's managed to take on a lot of dangers. That scary, capable warrior, someone you probably wouldn't want to take on in your experience. However, hearing that. And having seen snow dwarves, having passed through their lands, Rollman, you know a lot of the traits the cook depicted. That's not a snow dwarf. The only thing historically that comes close to that is there is a dragon lord who is depicted similarly to walking around as a very pale, or as a slightly paler and tanner looking dwarf, rather than looking like the dark skinned, white haired snow dwarfs.
All right, diplomacy it is then instead of threats. Understood.
Do you want me to come and talk to him in Dwarvish?
I know Dwarvish, don't worry. But I'd
Want me
like
to
you
go
there in
with you?
case things go bad.
All right, let's go.
James kind of pulls himself up, cracking it back, kind of coming, gets his gear on, coming, following you down. Yeah.
The gauntlet's on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm punching someone in the balls if I have to. Let's go.
I'll go in alone, so it doesn't seem like 3 against 1, so it might not seem as hostile. But be on outside just in case. With Essa.
Yep. Rollman says this loud, kind of somewhat loudly as you come down. Essa kind of like standing, peeking over the edge of a little pen at the back or the front of the ship.
BK. I lay on BK, and I lay with BK. Like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah, as you kind of lay back onto BK, Essa, you see as Rollman and James come walking down, not quite in the slightest. As Rollman just starts walking forward. So Rollman, you're gonna go up to the barrier.
Yep. Is there a door?
It's just a solid barrier.
It's a solid barrier. I'll knock on the
Yes, go
solid
ahead, James.
barrier.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, James, and roll for it. And Rollman, as you knock, you hear start hitting it. Bounce. It makes a sound, a bit of a sound as if it's hollow for a moment. And then you hear in the background. But before I say anything, James, you don't recognize this spell. You are sure though it's not divine. It's definitely an arcane spell. I will give you that.
Weird ass little fucking magic.
Mm-hmm. As you don't recognize this spell, and all the magic runes that you can kind of make out that you pick up, there's nothing in common with the language you speak currently. Like none of the languages are similar.
There is no translation.
As you kind of watch this, Rollman, you knock on the thing, and here a few seconds go by, and then you hear, can I help you?
What language do they say that in?
Dwarvish.
Okay, I will speak in Dwarvish back. Good afternoon, sir. Sorry for the late intrusion. I've been doing my rounds, and did not know this before, but I didn't know there was a chamber here. And I'd like to meet the person inside it. You missed a mighty battle earlier today.
I don't pay to be informed about battles or have to fight, so you will not be entering.
What, heard about some drinks in good faith?
You can't even see me. I could literally be a dragon in here ready to eat you. I'm not coming out until we reach our destination.
Fair enough, sir.
You hear a little bit of scuffling in the background, but nothing else as it goes quiet. Oh, Rollman, what are you trying to do? You just gonna turn back and go back to the party, or? I mean, Essa and James could hear this, so.
Fuck it, I'm walking over. I'm just gonna start examining the barrier. He can definitely see through it at this point.
You walk over and start looking it up and down, and you hear in a very weird sounding Dwarvish that you roughly pick up, James. There's some strange bits of language, but it's like you know enough of it to catch on to a couple of the words that seem familiar. As he goes, are you a snow dwarf?
Yeah, I fucking am, and this is a weird ass magic barrier. Fucking none of the symbols make sense.
The snow dwarfs should be extinct by this point. Sierzeki should have killed them. How the hell has he not managed to wipe them out? The history is wrong, then. What clan are you from? As you hear this guy
I'm the child of two clans, Treasurehorn and Frostbuster.
Treasurehorn? They're supposed to be dead.
I whisper in James' ear, if he asks another question, ask to see face to face, and I'm gonna walk away.
I can explain it to you if you want to meet face to face, but fucking talking me through your weird magic isn't very polite.
He kind of closes You hear the sound of something closing kind of hard, kind of recognizing it as a book, and he goes, the things I do for research, god damn it, fine. And you hear some clacking and clanking as you see the magic starts to kind of weaken for a moment, the barrier becoming a little bit clear, and then it comes down for a moment, and you see a dark-skinned, black-haired Bardress a hill dwarf standing right in front of you in very, very heavily dense bronze plate that has got magic runes in languages none of you recognize, and seems to have
I
a
will
couple
take it over
weapons.
immediately
What?
because at this point he's enchanted things to high hell.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can see he has two weapons, a mace and a sword on his side, each side, both that seem to be glowing slightly with strange metallic metals that you haven't seen. He has a big book that he seems to be holding under his arm that looks to be made of what you recognize immediately as dragon skin for the leather binding. And he looks at each of you and kind of looks around and goes, all right, now tell me how the hell your clan is still alive, because if I'm right, and he kind of licks the feather and dips it in the ink, his ink that seems to be slightly floating along with him as he opens the book back
plenty of
up.
Clans are still all right. The current king is Utham of the Snow Dwarves.
Uldrin, you mean?
Uldrin, yes.
Uthgum?
Yeah.
Uthgum, maybe. Ah, yes, he writes it down. Now, if I may ask, you said you're you should... What's your name?
James Dreg, Treasure-Horn, Frostbuster.
As you see him kind of looking in the book, he kind of licks his thumb and flips a couple pages as you kind of introduce yourself.
I'm set out to make a name for myself and start my own clan eventually, since I'm the son between two clans. It's either that or I have to choose, and they both tried their best to train me in their trade.
James. Oh, you're that. Oh, I'm sorry. He just kind of looks at you with like a pity in his eyes immediately, wearing his emotions on his face, on his sleeve.
It's already been fucking wrong apparently since I was supposed to already be dead. So fuck.
No,
that.
well, he kind of closes the book and he kind of smiles. Yeah, that's exactly it. Now, what can I help you with now that since I've apparently been bothered enough?
One.
Would you mind explaining this trail of blood?
It's not mine.
But it's leading into there, which is why we were curious.
Secondly, did you bring a half Trasgeg on this fucking ship?
Okay. I can see you lot aren't the most politically intelligent. So, which is fully understandable in this time period. Allow me to explain. Think of it like this. So, the body first off that I took in here was not the first mate. What I found in it was a gloom, as he kind of like points over to a back area that's covered in what looks to be some sort of strange darkness. He kind of flips his finger, and you see the darkness dissipates, and you see a large gloom body laying there, with the snap neck marks clearly showing. He goes, "That was my doing. You're welcome, by the way. Those charm spells are not easy to pull off in this era when there's very little flippin' magic capable here."
Appreciate that.
Yes. Secondly, that dragon egg you were talking about, I had to take it, because if I didn't, we'd end up screwing up everything that was going forward, because someone already interfered with what was going on. Because some Loxodon thought it'd be fun in the far, far future to stab something that none of you will probably understand, and I don't have the time currently to walk you through, though if you wish, I can later.
Where are you taking it then?
Well, the only place that's safe. The collective of Pyrrhus' capital city, and where it's supposed to be historically.
You talk about these supposed to be's and stuff when you already mentioned the Snowdwarfs being extinct.
Yes.
How reliable is this information you have, if that was one thing that was not reliable?
Kind of looks at you for a second, goes, think of me in the a best way to explain what I do for a living to you in a way that you would understand would be, do you know what a seer is? Someone who sees the future through magic?
Did we have any of those in like the elven?
Not of your people,
lands?
but traveling enough, you would have seen a lot of what we call charlatans, people who were faking it and trying to like bullshit fortune telling, and that James would have pretty easily pointed out stuff like that given his magic background. As far as otherwise, you wouldn't have had experience with it at home.
Now, since I know a little bit more about the Dragon Lords, and I know divination is a real magic that can see the future, do I know about that, like in general?
It is rumored that the Dragon Lord of Divination can see into the future. So it wouldn't be something. It wouldn't be
Esso will
unknown.
pipe up- Esso will pipe up like the divination dragon lord.
Yes, weaker, if you will, of course, but similar in concept. Yes. So imagine for a moment you got for a second a massive blast to your head of everything, right? And you tried to write as much as you could. You saw everything into the future of the biggest history moments. That is what, in a sense, I am. So ignore my weirdness when I say like it's factual because of the fact that I'm looking at it from a different perspective, if you will, from you. I've look at it as if it's happened, whereas to you it's happening. If that makes sense.
Granted,
Is
seems
there-
like he's becoming a problem, but oh,
Is there any way you can prove this? I don't doubt your word, but it's
I'm-
good to have.
I'm actually going to sense motive.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll sense motive.
I'm gonna try and read him. Here we go.
I'm sure my friend here, James, since he knows some magical runes, could determine that these are not of this magic. But me, not a magic seer, would like something other than that to prove
10.
your word.
He seems to be telling the truth, and Roman, as you say this, he kind of smiles at you and goes, "Would magic beyond any of your Dragon Lord's capabilities be enough to prove that I'm telling the truth?"
That would be unnecessary and draw unwarranted attention to the ship.
He
Or
smiles.
something.
Horrifying.
He kind of smiles at you and goes, "Trust me," as he disappears into a cloud of mist and stands at the back of the stairs.
Well,
And he kind of looks at you all and as you turn around and goes, "So that's what we call stepping into the mist. That comes from about a while into the future, from a golden, a dwarf with a golden beard. Not a snow dwarf, a different dwarf, but it's not important. Anyways, spells like that aren't capable in this
That
time
spell,
period.
I'm gonna try. Having
Can you do it
seen that spell-
again? And I hit James's foot.
I'm
What do you want me to do? He just cast magic. That's easy enough to see. If you want me to try and copy it, that takes a fucking
my
hour.
God.
You
Bar just kind of looks at you and goes, "He was telling you to try and copy my spell down so you could use it.
I
You're
just
not.
face
You're
palmed.
not.
How my magic works.
You're a cleric, aren't you not?"
Yes, but it takes time. It takes me about an hour to swap those out.
Ah, and that's the god you worship too. As he kind of walks up to you and he like pulls out your necklace out from underneath your shirt, real easy, and like holding it, not like trying to pull you, but like you can. He's definitely got a grasp on it.
Which would show that it's not related to any of the gods that he would technically know of.
And he looks at it and goes, "Oh, so you're gonna fail here in the near future. You're gonna want to pick a new god here soon. I recommend, because this is gonna get real rough, real soon. But yeah, maybe that's not to worry for you. Maybe it won't happen. Who knows?" Anyways, your question was about if I had anything to do with that. I've answered your question about the Bjorn, the first mate, and as far as the dragon egg, it's a required thing if we want to continue living on the current trajectory we expect with history. Again, I could walk you through all of the smallest of meaningless of facts, but I feel like you lot would fall asleep quite quickly.
That's unnecessary so long as you're not trying to actively do harm to anyone. That's
Oh, I am.
was the biggest concern.
oh,
Yes, I'm trying to cause the entire fall of the Movasi Empire.
For what reason?
It's,
Is the reason going to be it protects the timeline,
it's history. Yes.
history? Does history
That's
always have
not
to be the
history
same?
At this point, though.
Oh, it's not the same. In fact, actually, someone's already screwed it up. As he kind of literally kind of cuts out James for a second and continues, like he gets excited. He goes, "Someone's messing with everything and basically screwing it up. Movasi's empire was supposed to fall on the first, literally upon the first creation of your group while you were at Dragon's Crown, and half of you are supposed to be dead currently. Well, your friend there wasn't supposed to die. He's supposed to go on and do something else, but that's not here or there. But yes, so basically, what was supposed to happen didn't happen. I'm trying to figure out why, and I'm going to find the person who did it. Until then, I'm causing the exact chaos that needs to happen."
what's the saying? A butterfly's wings changes a lot, and you have views the future.
A butterfly's
You kinda-
weak can become a great storm.
Kind of looks at
Yeah,
you
some-
as you say that, and
Powers
you
that you don't understand.
you see a strange acknowledgement look on his face, as if something caught his attention. And he looks back and goes, I know Bright Blood hasn't formed yet, so I've probably at least got 10 more years before I have to worry about that. Honestly.
Well, what's changed it?
What? He kind of
What
looks up from his book.
What already altered what you knew was supposed to happen
The fact that you're alive.
before that.
Oh, are you asking where the source was? Well, the gathering of the Dragon Lords at Movasi's castle was not supposed to happen. The Gloom attempted assassination of the Utham himself and two other world leaders that I've noted was not supposed to happen. The Kobold's leader should have been killed during the assassination attempt, which apparently he survived.
Hold on. If the Gloom assassination was supposed to happen, then how could your book have written that he was supposed to die to the assassination?
He was a direct target, as he was one of the people who aligned with the
Not part of
Proto-Fiends. Yes, apologies. Gloom work on a very interesting way, so they don't think of killing in the concept that we do, where, like, you know how you cut down your enemy for either glory or because you're trying to survive. They do this as an art. The concept of killing in a way to do it so graciously and in a way that is understood by their race alone, that allows them to perfect this art through assassination attempts, through creating weird designs with the body once they're done. It depends on the individual Gloom clan, of course. This one, for example, as he kind of kicks over or goes to the body and starts to like pick it up and slowly drag it over, with a lot of effort. He kind of takes a minute, looks it up and down, and goes, "This one's got some strange markings on it that I'm not quite sure about. It's not one of the clans that I'd recognize, but it looks very similar." And yeah, he kind of points to it as he points to the neck. And you see what looks to be a bear skull on it, on the side of the neck.
Does that mean anything to
How
me?
traveled we are? Can I roll to see, like, a history?
Yeah, sure, I'll take a history check for that. Nobility, I'll also take if you have knowledge nobility. And then roll them, and if you just want to try in general, if you don't have a knowledge specific, you can just do an int check.
Damn it.
Damn.
You say?
If you don't want to, if you don't have knowledge history or knowledge nobility, you can also, or royalty, you can also just do a intelligence check if you're looking to assist.
Okay.
Okay, it'll just be a higher DC basically. Essa, did you want to assist as well?
Boys. There you go.
Damn.
So thank you.
Yeah, Essa, you looking it up and down for a minute, you take a second and the color kind of catches you start to, for the second time today, your life feels concerned as you recognize this marking as Clan Bexy. A clan known for its large bear skins that they wear into battle and raids. It gains its name for its capabilities in throwing axes and managing to wipe out entire walls of forces in a mere moments with them. They are also the only clan that is known to be practiced in practical magic. They are most notorious for their axes of returning, each bearing the emblem of their clan, and a large bear with wings that is said to heat up as it hits its enemy's flesh. So basically, these guys are known to ride flying bears, as the stories go, and throw rocks at people.
Well, everyone's thinking Estes and there just goes, Bexy.
That's what it fucking is. Thank you.
The bear clan. They throw axes at people and they heat up and shit and they return to them.
Bard just takes a second, guy looks at it and goes, "You're right, wait," and he starts writing something down. As he does so, he takes a minute and kind of looks back up at you and goes, "They weren't supposed to rise. That means the queen must be dead. Interesting. Okay, if they're here, then that means this has changed." And he starts flipping pages and like crossing things out and putting little notes in it. And he goes, "Anyways, I've proven your whole thing. What now? Can I go back to my thing, or do you need anything else? I'm sorry. This really changes everything."
I'm interested in your fucking enchantments and your gear. You're well outfitted for someone traveling.
I have
around.
to go get rid of the blood stains so no
enchantments.
questions why there's a blood trail leading all the way down here.
He kind of.
I also need to inform you that almost all the leadership has died on this ship, so it will be rapidly changing.
Oh, Loruf? Yeah, Loruf and Bjorn were supposed to die anyway, so I'm not too concerned.
And
That's
what does
why-
the book say? Who's supposed to take lead now? Is it the cook?
No. Technically, the person who's supposed to take lead didn't ever get on the ship.
So the cook then. Alright.
He looks at you and goes, "You guys could take a lot. I don't care as long as my coin gets me where I'm going." And he kind of smiles at that.
Yeah, the thing is, we're not really going to the collective.
Well,
Well, I
That
mean, I
makes
have
it-
some information to sell to them anyway.
Neither am I.
To
I'm
be-
going to Regan, Utham's
Oh, you're
city
not going
to
to
meet.
That's what you said you were taking the egg.
I am taking the egg there, yes, but I'm meeting with Regan Utham first. I have a discussion with him, as I had sent him a letter ahead of time to meet with him. Hopefully he got it before I arrive, otherwise that might be a little weird.
Well, either way, eventually I said I wanted to head up to the collective. I have some information to tell them about a mimic chasing a shining object anyways.
Yeah, yes, mimics also can eat people, I've found. They are also
God, but
good.
Right.
They make great armor as well in certain rare cases.
the City of Gold nearly killed us at one point, and desperation, I made a rock I had light up and threw it and chased it.
City of
That's
Gold.
fucked up, DM.
Kind of looks at that and kind of, you didn't hear anything from me. Kind of flips the page and kind of writes something down and goes, "I'll keep that in mind." And kind of wraps it, puts his book away.
Sell that information to the collective as they seem interested in that type of information.
Yeah, well, you just gave the information to someone that's also going to the collective.
True.
He looks at you and goes, "Interesting." Anyways,
You want to pay up.
if you're going to continue to Himperser's last hold, if I may, can I mess with those magic crystals so we may speed things along a little bit? I'm behind schedule, you see, as he pulls out. You see a strange object that he pulls out that seems to, like, a little golden, pendant that a little bit larger than a golden pendant that he flips open and seems to start making this weird ticking sound as, like, a little metal rod kind of keeps moving and, like, ticking off as the sound goes. It moves slightly. And he goes, "We're 2 days late." God damn it. He closes it and puts it back in his pocket and goes,
Well, given we had to deal with storm giants, a storm giant raid, and a dragon lord, you're lucky we aren't all dead.
"No, I wouldn't be dead."
Also, out of game, of course everything's gonna be different. Fucking a Beyond God that was supposed to be here is dead,
Mhm.
and another one that shouldn't even be there in the first place is suddenly here.
He kind of looks about and goes, "With all said and done, I think... You know what? I'll fix the crystals for you lot. We'll get there faster, and then you won't have to deal with the second storm giant raid that's coming."
The what now?
Oh yes,
Led by Thorun Stormwalker, I presume.
Thorun. No, Torun.
Thorun, my bad.
Yeah, Torun Stormwalker. Yeah, well, if I'm right, he's going to lead a, I don't know, 200-man raid supposedly into Utham's lands after this. He should be there in the next day and a half. It's noted here. It would be after he takes a major burning from a dragon lord, and half of his body is violently scarred.
Yeah.
He kind of opens the pendant again, kind of looks at it and goes,
I convinced Lord Stormix to leave us alone and go chase him instead.
"Wait, was that you?" As he looks at Essa. Like, wide-eyed. And he goes, "Was that you who made that noise? I saw... Ah!
I just give him a look.
That makes more sense now." He kind of writes something down in his book and kind of closes it and goes, "Alright. And would you like me to fix those things, or do you not trust me? If not, I will stay here. You can take the Gloom Corpse for all I care. I just don't want it to... I didn't want it stinking up the place."
If you wanted us dead, I feel like you'd already done it.
Oh, that's true. There's a spell called Vorpal Mine that's on your two friends' backs right now that would have killed them instantly if they had attacked me.
Wait, so he says it to me too? So there's one on James and Roland?
As he looks at Essa.
Oh. I look at the other two? Interesting.
I have a question. I mean, minding that. What happened? Do you know what happens to elves and Goliaths?
Yes, the Goliaths end up eventually becoming a predominant power against the Dragonborn that take over from the Kobolds. It's like a kind of like the Drakekin, but smaller and not as a head up their ass. They get the crap beaten out of them by the Goliaths. Goliaths born this thing called a human. They're not worth much in my opinion. They're kind of just a small page in history overall. But they do spread a lot, and they do breed and make lots of variations of themselves. The elves, though, they would end up taking over, I think, one of the largest empires and causing 3 major wars at one city. In fact, I think they're responsible for burning that same city 4 times in like a single 10 years. They also were at the crux of a major god war. Yeah, there's plenty. What would you like to know? As he kind of starts opening a book and flipping to the pages. You get the sense that this guy is very excited to tell anything about his research or anything he knows
How specific can you get with this information?
Well, I'm not gonna be able to tell you kings and queens, of course, because that would make it so that way it would, that whole thing, that effect thing about the future and how it would change things. We're already a day off, like I can't tell you much, but you don't technically play a major role in anything in the histories, if that makes you feel any better.
Good. I might have further questions later, but if you are willing and capable of speeding us up, that would be a great boon.
Yes, of course. Your magic here is so primitive and weak. It's a little harder to get the sense of it because there's so much of the stuff, and so the smallest tweak of what I'm doing could seriously explode everything. But I've only blown up 2 ships so far this week.
You have something to do with the storm giant ship earlier.
Yes, it kind of starts heading towards the stairs.
Why?
I didn't want to have to deal with them, and they were very loud while I was trying to write.
Well, it seemed they sped up after that.
Well, yeah, that's a unfortunate side effect when you're trying to blow up something that's with magic, that charges on magic. Oh, there's this concept of what we call a battery. And he goes, so it's an item that you can put magic into, right? A lot of magic into, and then it basically uses that magic and puts it somewhere else. It transfers it to whatever it's plugged into or it's attached to, right? Think of it like if you put a crystal into a sword and the sword started shooting off like a cantrip. Makes sense? Kind of looks at Rolliman as he's walking up the stairs.
It's hard to grasp. I'm not well versed in magic.
Perfect. So as you can, then basically what you do is you send this stream of power towards it, and you try to overwhelm it by expanding it to the point where it pops. In a sense, you're basically overwhelming. Now, the side effect is the fact that if it doesn't, it becomes overly charged, and that's what you saw with the slightly smoke effect. The explosions were the crystal trying to pop and them sealing it back up, probably using some sort of version of Mold Earth on like gemstones and such, I'd assume, or magic crystals. He goes, it's not a pretty hard spell to get. It's basically a slightly advanced version of mending, but I don't know if they have actually discovered it at this time period. As he kind of climbs up the stairs.
Earth, both of those exist, yes.
I recommend figuring out a way to combine those spells, and you'll get something to work on magic crystals to mend them better. And as he kind of walks back past the chef, who just acknowledges Rolliman, James and Essa just waving to you all three as you pass him.
I give thumbs up.
You see as the dwarf just climbs up onto the ring, pulling us up, no harness, no nothing. You hear a clamp from his boots that he has, as he kind of smiles and goes, didn't want to fall, so he climbs underneath, climbs over it, and basically is attached to this thing, standing upside down, messing with the crystal and poking it with his fingers. He seems to prod it and almost melt the gemstone itself. Opening it up, you see him then take a little vial out of his pocket and pop the cork, pour in a blue liquid, and then he seems to close it back up. And he goes, as he climbs back onto the deck, he looks back at you guys. He goes, so about now, as the crystal starts to explode and starts to glow red, smoking and getting making a bunch of popping noises, he goes, we should now begin to move a little bit faster. I just got to do the other one. It's kind of hard to do them both at the same time.
I'm going to brace myself.
I'm going to quickly... I wouldn't have had time to pray. I'm praying to change my spells and reload them, because I may need to combine Mold Earth and Mending immediately.
Essa, what about you?
I'm cleaning up the blood trail from earlier.
Still down there with a broom, just hearing the popping and explosions from down upstairs.
I'm sitting here this will cause problems if we leave it here. I'm just here as much as I can.
You start hearing the popping in the background, the little shakes and stutters of the ship kind of making it wobble back and forth for a moment, knowing something's coming. Rollman tying himself off. You see the chef is fully whole knot. He's got 100 feet of rope. He's tying himself to the full thing. He's scared.
Myself in Rollman's arms.
Romantically, or
I'm not holding it.
You jump into his arms and roll him in any good football or a fucking what's the term no, not football. It's the other sport that's without pads that you use and you still use it. Rugby. Yeah, like a rugby, tossing James like a ball forward in a spin on towards the stairs as he comes through with the motion. James, you are colliding down the stairs. Landing, not taking any damage, but just watching as Rolliman just tossed you.
As I'm praying, quiet thumbs up, like, yeah.
Lying on the ground, quietly saying a prayer, a little bit of blood trickling down your head.
I'd like to see if I could see any airships in a way off distance.
Yeah, give me a search check. $18. You see far off into the distance, the moon shining brightly, the stars gleaming, but it's clear. You can kind of get the sense of the sun in the distance starting to rise as the west. Yeah, sunrise in the west sets in the east. Yeah. Is it rise in the east? Duh. Yeah.
Land of the rising sun, Japan.
Yeah, I know, and that's exactly where my mind went to. Don't worry. Yeah. So as the sun, you can definitely see in the east the sky is starting to get a little bit light red as the sun is rising, but it's far to the distance. As the sputtering starts, you don't see anything of danger. Though moments go by, and as you see Bar just kind of climbs back on. He goes, "So I think I got the measurements right this time."
Hope you did.
Yeah, it's because of you.
Otherwise, your whole history thing is going to end, huh?
In 3, 2, 1. Nothing happens. He goes, looks back at it and goes, "That's not normal. One moment." He kind of climbs back over and you hear him start smacking the crystal really hard, and then the thing just starts taking off, and you hear the sound of Bar just flying down towards the ground. Screaming for him.
He's tied in. He was tied in, so...
He was not tied in. He had boots that magnetized to the metal, is what you thought. As the ship suddenly takes off, Essa, you're launched back against the back wall as the ship starts doubling, tripling, quadrupling speed. Less than a day, you come flaring in like a fireball into from Purser's last hold right over the hill mountain as the chef is trying with his whole body tied to the fucking helm, trying to steer it so it just stays above the mountain and can slowly come to a stop.
I'll help him.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna try and pull the magic out of those.
Alright, James, I'm gonna need a reflex save from you at disadvantage because you're not tied down, so that'll be a -3 in this situation.
Are we still accelerating?
Yes, you're still going very fast. Roll
Are we accelerating, or are we just moving fast?
You're just moving fast. You're not accelerating at this point.
Then you're not.
Wait, before I run up, can I tie myself off downstairs? And
well, he's not tied off. That's what I'm saying.
The acceleration will knock you off.
Oh, is it? Okay, fair enough.
Once you're up to speed, you are still good.
You're good. Okay.
You have to worry about.
Okay. Well, yeah, and you're high in the skies. That's what I was kind of referencing here, but that works. Yeah, so still reflex save either way. I would still like it for James Rollman. You are tied off. Because you are still going to get high winds.
Try and do that.
I mean, yeah, but you're going to be at major disadvantage. I'm talking like a -5 because you're trying to like tie yourself off with you're high up in the air. You're trying to rush this, so kind of keep that in mind.
Rush it? We have a whole day.
Well, no, I'm saying if you're trying to rush to the helm to help him, like slow. Yeah, well, yeah, James was saying he was doing it too, so that's why I'm saying.
I said I was going to go to the orbs and try and siphon off some of the excess magic and spray it out.
Oh, okay, we can try and do that, but if you tie off and do that, that's still going to have to require you getting close to those crystals, so you're going to have to be careful. Because you're going to be going up to the back of the ship, so this will still, like, you're going to have to do a reflex when you're tying yourself off. But yeah, so Rollman
part of the rope.
Rollman's is 18. James, yeah, go ahead and roll up yours.
I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
So I'm rolling a reflex save. Is that what you said?
No, you don't have. You will have to. Yeah, but you don't have disadvantage because you're tied off. So this is just to see how long it takes you to get to the thing. For James, it's gonna be to see if he can get the rope tied off without flying.
I got a +2 from this. I got a +2 from my class. I had my dex to this. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes. James, you go to tie the rope. The knot does not go through comfortably. You just kind of grab on and brace and start holding yourself onto the railing. Kind of realizing that the winds are too strong up here. Your weight isn't heavy enough. There's a reason why giants fly up here, dragons fly up here, so they're hefty. They're 4,000 pounds.
I am but small.
You start to feel the gust of wind picking you up off the ground and like taking you away. Rollman, as you kind of walk, like with it already being tied off, holding on your ground, you manage to kind of walk over. It's not easy because again, these winds are hefty. Given your weight, you're not a heavy guy. So even like compared to the creatures that usually are at this height. But as you manage to pull over, helping him, he and you are going to make a strength check.
Strength check.
Oh, this you're gonna. I don't. I guess I'll have to show the modifier. That's fine.
Hey, every little bit helps, you know.
Yeah.
See, look.
Let me pull his modifier. Oh yeah, but I'm gonna scare. I don't want to scare my players. That's 29. I rolled badly. Okay.
No, you didn't roll badly. You rolled a 12.
Yeah, but look.
Well, it's not bad.
That's fair.
You know, we saw to hit a 40 earlier, right?
Yeah, that's also true. That's fair. Between the two of you, kind of like manage to hold at the helm to hold off and steady. The ship slowly starts to come to a stop, slowing down finally. James holding on for dear life. Essa kind of rocking back and forth every time the ship starts to slow down too fast. Trying to keep the pens clean down below. The crew down beneath making a bunch of noise.
Once it's slowed down enough that I'm not gonna at risk of flying off, I'm gonna carefully.
If we're slowing down, we should not have to worry about that.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, once the ship will be, it's
I'm
just gonna be
carefully
lowering from there.
tying myself to the freaking rail. I don't want to fly.
All right, go ahead and roll a use rope.
Slowed down enough. I don't want to fucking fly off. That's my entire thing.
You have enough rope this one session for an entire fucking campaign.
Yeah, you have. Thankfully, you got that 50 feet of rope you guys carry around with you.
Yeah.
All right, what did you get, James, for your use rope? 6.
I think he does it on a time.
Yeah, you tried to
I'm
copy.
shaky.
You remember Rollman showed you how to make a very simple knot. You try to copy it for a moment, but it's with all that's going on, everything that's going on now, and the fact that you can still hear the screaming of the dwarf that just fell. Yeah, your mind's a little distracted for the moment as the ship is starting to slowly lower.
We have the egg.
You do. You think. You don't know where the egg is.
If we still hear him, then he's not like.
I don't
he's
think
still
we
on
have the
ship,
egg.
Technically.
Yeah, you don't even know where the egg is. You just saw the last time you saw was when Loroff took it out, and then he put it in the captain's quarters last thing, or well, he went into the captain's quarters and then it was gone. Yeah, as you start the ship starts to lower towards the dock. There we go. The docks. You lot start to see the town kind of coming into motion. You see the opened up mountain where a bunch of sailors, raiders, and such of frost giants seem to all be gathering, joking, laughing. Some small businesses open. People shouting for like local small bits of cuisine that they've cooked from home and they're trying to sell on the docks to the raiders. The place is lively with excitement and talk, as you know, many of the frost giants seem to be kind of going about their business. As the ship kind of comes to the dock, very torn up, much of the wood scorched. The rails kind of, some of them busted off from it. Some of the boards kind of busted off. The chef kind of untying himself and looking at you lot and goes, "Well, we made it."
That we did.
As he says that, you hear one of the crystals explode, and it like cracks completely down the center and falls down to the bottom of the mountain as the ship's kind of floating off.
Need some repairs. It's probably going to be docked here for a while.
Yeah. We're gonna. He kind of looks at you guys and goes, "If you want to come find us when you're ready to leave, what you did today, next fare's on us." Kind of looks at you and goes, "I can't say no on that one." I think I should probably go figure out where that egg went. Oh, god damn it.
By the way, we found out that, the guy that flew off brought it on board.
You know, that might explain why he looked like he had something in his bag when he climbed off the side with the crystal.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a deal about the egg.
No
It's probably
problem
gone.
Honestly, he's not my business, and he paid already, so technically we got him to the town.
And I will say there is a dead gloom in that barrier room. That was what the fake first.
Oh, I can sell that actually. You know what? One of the guilds around here are buying those bodies on top of the dollar.
Oh, and would you happen to know where I'm going over to the quest? here in a moment. Where Thrid Stoneheft is?
Oh, Thrid? Yeah, Nitwits. A little smithy. Well, it's a well-known smithy in the area. He look for the kind of shorter, beefier frost giants. Only wears an apron. Does not wear pants. Hard to miss him.
Sounds like my uncle.
My kind of person. All right.
As I kind of emerging from below now that the whole ship's parked and everything with BK kind of coming up behind.
And one last thing, that strange individual that was also being ferried. He talked about a storm giant raid that mayhaps be happening here. So,
Oh yeah.
like the next day or so, I wouldn't fully disregard it because he did say some things where there were, they had some semblance of truth to them.
Yeah.
I'd be wary.
Listen, we've already got another adventure. We got Dom here with Utham. He's got his new adventuring group here. They're actually pretty respectable. I heard they managed to take on a Gloom single-handedly with their party.
Really?
They'll be. The town's fine. It's protected. Enjoy yourselves. Drink. Have a good time. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff while we got Dom and his crew here.
Oh, we're here to work though too.
Well, if you're looking for magic items, as a heads up, Gerso I heard was closed. So, if you're looking for yeah,
A closed shop.
these days, he kind of nods and says, "Well, feel free to disembark. We'll take care of the ship. I gotta go speak to Hagnin and explain that 2 of his sons are dead again."
Good luck with that.
Sorry for his loss.
Yeah, this is the fourth son. I'm gonna have to report to that man that has died. God damn it! Kind of goes down to the ship, kind of calling up the
Maybe
crew.
stuff in heavier armor?
You hear her laugh at that as he goes down below, getting the rest of the crew to come out.
Let's go grab BK.
Yeah, BK comes up behind Essa with his little cart, kind of getting ready to disembark. A ramp is pulled out, set out for you lot as a couple of frost giants come on, looking for the chef. First off, looking for Lorof, the captain.
And then the first mate.
And then the first mate, and then as you point, he kind of heads over there. You can see it's pretty obvious they're there to collect a docking fee for the ship. They're just there for money.
Wait, I'll stop them. How much is the docking fee?
For each day they're here, we do about a gold piece. For about 2 months, or for a year though, we'll give them about 100 gold pieces up front.
I'm going to carefully and just calmly pay for it.
For 100 or 1?
100. I'll give them the year.
It looks. He goes.
I don't think they're gonna be here
Provide
for
the
a
change
year.
to the cook
But
on the ship.
All right. He nods and kind of goes, pockets it, and goes, "Fine." He goes, enjoy your stay here. What's your name? I take it you're the owner of the ship?
No, I'm just a good friend right now.
You see the chef pops up and he goes, "Yeah, he's the owner." And nods.
Oh, damn. I now have a ship, guys.
it's owned by the Ironheart Merchant Company.
Ironheart Merchant Company.
The dock worker kind of writes it down and goes, "It's a crap ship. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to need to get you a shipwright on it. A year's probably a good idea with the amount of repairs you're going to need. I'll send you a billing recommendation for who I recommend to talk to. If you can, while you're in town, go meet with Hagnin. He runs a few shops, but you'll want to look for the wood. It's just, I guess he calls it the Woodwalker Memorabilia Shop now as a joke. I think the last one was Utham's silver something, but I think Utham said no to that one. Anyways, probably. The dock worker goes, anyways, I'll send a billing to you if you're staying at the inn. To get this worked up and fixed up for you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
He nods and he disembarks, heading back into the city.
I'm just gonna give a thumbs up to the cook who popped back up and just head off. We have a litter to deliver.
Yeah, as you head into town, you lot start kind of exploring the massive open town, seeing a lot of soldiers walking up. Many of them in silver armor and carrying silver items. It's actually almost all of them carrying silver gear, as they seem to be walking about in full plate, marching, doing drills. Many of them seem to be on edge. You do pass by as you exit out of the dock the clinic that many of you've heard stories of in your travels about Utham's famous clinic as one of the only few clinics that is open to pretty much all races. As you pass by it, you do see a major like close sign on it. It looks like there's a major battle in there as you check out the place walking by it. There's
Like
some,
a battle going on.
no, like damage, leftover damage from when there was a huge fight in there.
Could I
No, I
gather
was
what has
hoping we-
transpired from it?
Get
The
back up
damages?
here.
Yeah. Let me see. What would that be?
Would that
I was
be
hoping we all would be able to get
potentially
a health check up here.
profession mercenary?
Sure, I'll use. I'd say that's fine.
All right.
I was really hoping to get, well, specifically you, Rollman, because I honestly don't know what diseases go around for Goliath nor elves, and better to have a health checkup than.
You think I'm diseased?
Sorry for the future.
As you look at it, looking it up and down, the place looks like it was. It looks very chaotic, Rollman. You definitely can tell this wasn't a professional fight. This was definitely something that was spur of the moment, but you don't get much more details than that. Just because the battle looks so chaotic, there's no framework. As you're trying to like almost Sherlock Holmes look at like where the soldiers would be standing in the middle of this fight based on like the damages taken. But as you kind of look about the place, it's all the workers look to be there looks to be a few bodies of some workers cut up in there and not looking in great shape. A few with some purple marks on them and such. As you kind of pass by it, glancing inside. Heading further in, though, to the town, you start to see a couple of these shops. Nitwit's massive hammer, like stone hafted hammer sign standing out front on the second floor of the city. The city stacking up into three main streets. The center street, which is basically the base floor, where you find the closed up magic shop, the newly built crafting guild that is called Cod Clinge. Am I pronouncing that right?
You are.
Perfect. And that has a weird like mimic painted on it in the design of like a furniture. You also notice on the second floors, second main road, which is the second tier that rises up a little slightly higher. The adventuring guild that you see has the last breath written onto it, and as well as what looks to be some sort of druid building that most of the building looks to be old and very decrepit with forests kind of sprouting out of it at this point. Not really having really a sign it, but you see a few people going in and out. And then, of course, on the very top floor, top street, you start to see the Nitwits and a couple of the other shops.
Well,
Yeah.
let's head over to Nitwit and drop this letter off.
Let's drop off a letter, get some drinks, and hit the hay. I've had a stressful week.
Yeah, as you all kind of...
We still hear Barter screaming in the distance.
You do not, but you do, as you look about, see the very brightly bronzed armor dwarf heading towards the castle.
It seems he lived his ball.
You definitely do see a clump of what looks to be stone and dirt in his one of like his shoulder like big plates that's still stuck in there. You can definitely tell he fell and hit something.
Maybe he took somebody out.
Probably some more of his enchantments that kept him alive.
Enchantments and spells. The spells he was weaving was more powerful than what I can do right now.
As you look kind of thinking about this, you head up the road, and coming to the store, you see that Nitwit's is currently closed and under construction. However, it has an opening the following day sign on it. You also notice the door is slightly kind of ajar, as if it's been kind of like pushed against there, as it looks like it's been blown off its hinges.
I'm gonna just knock on the door.
As you do, the door falls over, even with a strength of 1. It's got a DC of 0. As it falls over and kind of cracks, and you hear someone go, "I'm not in the mood."
Delivery from Hago.
My father's expecting the letter. God damn it! And you hear like sounds, it's like crunching, cracking as someone comes up from the back. The very dark smithy that doesn't look like it's been turned on for at least a day. None of the fire is running or anything.
That's not fucking good for that.
He comes out, and you see this frost giant who's very short, short as in like a fire giant's height, so about half the height of a frost giant, and very
I'm still
wide.
craning my neck.
Yeah, very girthy muscles, very well set, covered head and toe in this black cloth that seems to be very thick and woolly. He looks down at you and goes, what does Haga want?
Letter delivery.
Oh.
I pull it out of my pocket just to offer and hold it up. Wait, are you Thrid?
I'm third junior,
Where is Thread? Do you know?
half dead.
Half what
Where?
from? From the.
We had a gloom raid in the last couple days.
Would you mind if I?
You want to speak with him? He's completely unconscious in the back. You can either come back tomorrow when he's awake, but the king, Regan Utham had to knock him down, and he's not doing too well after that fight.
We can wait till tomorrow.
We'll wait till tomorrow. Just tell him to expect us. Yes.
He kind of nods and goes, "Fine," and kind of turns and kind of picks up the door and puts it back into place and goes back in the room.
How badly is that door off?
Oh, it's the door is completely shattered. It looks like he put it together with a bunch of nails. Like it looks like it's like a duct tape but with nails. This guy did put it together last minute. As he heads back into the back rooms and
Is
you hear
Nitwit's open or no?
that's the shop you're standing in front of, Nitwit's.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So
smithy is
we
not.
don't have an inn to stay at right
No,
now.
the inn is the last breath. The adventure.
Oh,
That
the
is.
last breath is the inn. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's head to the
No,
last
remember,
breath.
because we were told it was the guildmaster, but then I realized last time Thrid is not the guildmaster.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically
someone
heard
else-
the same thing from here, where he's now running Nitwit. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
going to the last breath, which is Boloth. if I'm
Yeah,
not
as you head towards the guild down on the lower floor, kind of going down, you find the guild wide open. The smell of curdled milk kind of drifting on the air as you see a very large and fat frost giant with no shirt, big belly out, kind of walking around, very loose-fitting pants that you can see everything through. As he kind of walks over to you lot, seeing you come in and goes, can I help you? As he kind of you hear him kind of breathe in heavy, sniff in really heavy with his right nostril, and kind of cringes it and then spits off to the side.
Can we get some rooms for the night and a table for some food?
You lot who came in with Windbreaker?
Portugal is fast,
a
I
smile
assume.
just breaks across James' face.
He paid for your rooms. You're already set up for the night.
Kind of.
Ugh. And Olaf cracks his back, his belly kind of jiggles at that, and he kind of looks at you and goes, "Well, your room's paid for, your food's paid for, it's already set in your room. Enjoy yourself. If you're here to talk to Utham, well, the other group is already managing to keep his attention plenty, and I imagine it's already probably starting to irritate him.
The only thing I'd like to do is offer my thanks for a trade agreement he gave to my family. But if he's busy, he's busy.
That's fine. You're a lot of adventurers, right?
Merchant
merchants.
company, but we
Merchant's perfect. And he kind of goes over, he walks over and he goes, "Here's a stack of papers. This is the shit we have available for you. Get some work in while you're in town."
Amazing.
He kind of looks like, cracks his back again and kind of looks at you a lot and goes, "Oh, and also, if you see a blind lady, don't trust her." And he kind of turns and starts walking back to the bar.
Good.
As you lot kind of pick up the papers.
Holy shit!
What? I haven't read these.
James holds up the one from Threadstone Haft.
We can't.
1% of his fucking
we can't
company
do
for
it.
that.
We
We can't
can't
fucking
do
do
it.
it, but that's fucking. What the fuck?
Hey, James, buddy, that's a minimal offer for how much a breeding pair of Rockheap goes for. You could sell it and make.
That's not what he's talking. I thought you were talking. Oh, okay.
That's
No, he
fair,
said
but
Thread.
Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, he's offering very little because a female Rockheap could buy you a country.
Hagen, Woodwalker, Archmans.
I mean, if we can somehow do Hagnans, I mean, a small sky ship that's like currently.
Oh, it's gonna be broken for a while though.
Your skyship was
Oh.
not small. That would be considered a trading vessel, so that was a decent. That
No,
was still
I'm
pretty
saying-
good sized. Small would be like half the speed.
small side ship if we kill the.
Oh, which one?
That's Hagnon Woodwalkers. As you
Hagnon
lot,
Woodwalker.
as you lot kind of start digging through the paperwork, kind of looking at the quest for a minute, you start to kind of come up with an idea as you sit down for the night. And I think we'll end it here to let the party kind of decide what they want to do, and we'll pick up tomorrow morning or next session with you lot waking up in the morning. I think with a long rest. As we thank you all that are watching, we hope you enjoyed this extra long session, and hopefully we can keep getting this going as we're going forward with these sessions. So,
Before we go for the long rest, I will be patting I will be quietly making sure to heal Rollman to make sure.
I was full
So,
health.
I'll roll that.
That was fine.
He's
Yep.
healthy.
Well, you took 2
health.
hits. I didn't think you had gotten a chance to roll your health back.
oh, I gave him I rolled him his health.
He's at full health.
Yeah, he got 15 HP back from it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no issues. As you kind of spend the night kind of watching, making sure Rollman's scars healed fully, and the potion that you
it's a
watched
good start.
got poured on him was legit. Making sure it wasn't like some like delayed effect or something like that. James, you check in on him throughout the night, but as you kind of settle in, figuring out what quest you want to do, kind of looking around the town, getting an idea of what this place is about. We will end session here. We thank you all for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the series, and we will see you guys next time for the next episode. Catch you later.